My visions I kept, I gotta stay strong. Look at my soul, I'm deep in the sky. I've been through so much, my journey was hard. This world is so shitty, gotta stay on your guard. I'm living my life, don't know about y'all, but gotta be cautious, killing us all. Listen, my people, we gotta stay tall. Seeks and knots, we gotta evolve. My visions I kept, I gotta stay strong. Look at my soul, I'm deep in the sky. I've been through so much, my journey was hard. This world is so shitty, gotta stay on your guard. I'm living my life, don't know about y'all, but gotta be cautious, killing us all. Listen, my people, we gotta stay tall. Seeks and knots, we gotta evolve. Listen, my people, we gotta stay tall. We gotta see knowledge, we gotta evolve. We gotta fight back cause they're killing us all. My visions I kid, don't know about y'all. I've been through so much, I done seen it all. The world is so sick, now stay on my guard. The path that I'm on, this journey is hard. But with the knowledge, I'ma make it through. Shit is they teaching us all of it fall. We program your mind, it all become clear. Shoot up and boot up, a war is near. Stripping your mind, your body, your core. The stronger we are, the scared they get. They treat it like virus and they are the cure. I'm standing on my ground, no back, no fear. Fuck you bastards, I'm sorry you all. My mind is open, I got perfect vision. Public assassinations, my people, you see this. This world is so hot, it's so cold. Now it's going viral, and we killing each other. We gotta do better too. See, the system is against us. We see that. It says the land of the free, yeah, but I don't feel free. Law enforcement protect and serve who them damn selves. And it's a lot more going on. Open your eyes, yes sir. My visions I kept, I gotta stay strong. Look at my soul, I'm deep in the sky. I've been through so much, my journey was hard. This world is so shitty, gotta stay on your guard. I'm living my life, don't know about y'all, but gotta be cautious, killing us all. Listen, my people, we gotta stay tall. Seeks and knots, we gotta evolve. My visions I kept, I gotta stay strong. Look at my soul, I'm deep in the sky. I've been through so much, my journey was hard. This world is so shitty, gotta stay on your guard. I'm living my life, don't know about y'all, but gotta be cautious, killing us all. Listen, my people, we gotta stay tall. Seeks and knots, we gotta evolve.
Thoughts of my head is what I live by. My crown aims to the sky till the day I die. Akashic records, I'm reading in this life. Got me wondering how my people be living so trife. From kings and queens we fell, and now this is our life. But we gotta change the game, cause how we living just ain't right. Start seeing what I'm seeing through your third eye, as our ancestors look down at us from the sky. We are royalty, the acronym of war. So you need to ask yourself, is this what we fighting for? Killed by police or black on black crime. Either way, it's some bullshit y'all must have forgot. It's our time to shine. I seek the thrill of knowing it all, cause esoteric knowledge speaks the truth of it all. Empty world, full of fakes and lies, but I guarantee there's more to life on the other side.
My visions are clear, I gotta stay strong. Look at my soul, I'm deep in the sky. I've been through so much, my journey was hard. This world is so shitty, gotta stay on your guard. I'm living my life, don't know.
What is good, y'all? What is good? So I see some people in the building. George, All Media Access, salute. I was actually gave you a shout out last night in my live stream about the junior situation. I've been watching some of your videos that you had done on the junior situation, because I remember when I was in your live stream, you had stated that you had done a lot of videos on junior, and I know that there's a lot of people that are, they had done videos on junior and they didn't really know what the fuck they was talking about. So I was actually saluting you for speaking about the junior situation and everything like that. What's good, Rachel? I see you up in here. So today, y'all, I wanted to look at this whole situation with MARKEITH Loyd, because basically the man crazy as hell. I've already kind of told you, but I'm gonna give you guys a rundown. We're gonna look at some little clips before pertaining to the case or whatever before we look at it. But he was just convicted of shooting and killing his pregnant girlfriend. So charged with first degree murder and in her death, the pregnant girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, right? And then first degree murder in the baby's death as well. Now, he's also was charged with attempted first degree murder and 2 other counts of felony murder. Sade Dixon and the unborn were killed December 2016. Now, while on the run, MARKEITH also killed, allegedly, Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, January of 2017, outside of a Walmart. Now, he was arrested days later after a worldwide manhunt. And in Clayton's death, Loyd faces first-degree murder charges as well. Now, there's a penalty phase type of situation, so they're looking at the death penalty for just him murdering the pregnant girlfriend and the you know, the baby as well. You know what I mean? Because that is a life as well. So the second portion of the trial with him killing the Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, that goes to trial next year. And I kind of spoke about this case a little bit already. Salute to everybody that's joining. I see you, Troll Killer. What is good? Yeah, we're gonna talk about MARKEITH Loyd, and basically I just gave a rundown. He shot a pregnant woman who was his ex-girlfriend. He was charged with first-degree murder for the lady's life, who was Sade Dixon, and then the life of the child, the unborn baby. And he was brought up on other charges as well. However, he was convicted, found guilty or whatever. So now they're just gonna pretty much, I think he's gonna get the death penalty or whatever. But I wanted to touch base on this case because I've been following this case for a while, and I know that obviously, there's two parts of this trial. There's the part pertaining to the lieutenant that he had shot while he was on the run from killing his ex-girlfriend who was pregnant. But I mean, the shit is crazy. He ended up losing an eyeball because of this situation. Like, I don't know, but this shit is crazy. The shit is really crazy. So we're gonna kind of do a rundown of information in the case today. I do have like the unedited MARKEITH Loyd arrest video. As you can see in this picture right here, this is MARKEITH Loyd, and they beat his ass pretty bad. Like, he got them hands or whatever, right? But I really don't have no sympathy for him because he had killed a pregnant woman, like, and a baby, bro. Like, that's trash. I don't really care if, you know what I mean? Him and old girl weren't seeing eye to eye or whatever. I don't know what kind of video this is. This must be like thermo or some shit. Oh yeah, thermo. Okay, it's like night vision or something. I don't know if we'll really watch all this. I didn't really look watch this. I just seen it and was like, fuck it, why not? So basically that's kind of one person in the room. What the fuck? They dropped everybody again, bro. Wow. This shit is trash. Again, like, can we have one fucking day where they don't drop everybody in my live stream? Remember the girl from Stockton that killed her sister while live streaming? Her ass ran from the cops last night and flew off the freeway with a passenger. What in the hell? I did not know anything about that. Period, point blank. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I'm lying like a motherfucker. My bad. I'm scared of my daughter and shit. I screamed and scared my daughter. She almost dropped some dishes and shit. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. Where did I put it at? Okay, it's right here. Yep. Okay. Never mind. I'm tripping like a motherfucker.
All right, so this story.
This came from Rachel. So we're gonna take a look at this beforehand because we had covered this case. Thank you, Nicolette, because I would have low-key forgot. This is what I was supposed to be doing during this time where they dropping everybody. We're going to just give a quick rundown of what happened with this situation last night, where this girl is the same girl that was driving the car, and her sister had lost her life. We had reported a touch base on it about a week ago, something like that. But this is, the lady right there. Have y'all seen the lives about Cupcake? They said that her dad has her. What? I ain't seen that. If you want to drop a link, shit, I will definitely look into that. I didn't even look into it. So basically the kids was off today. Go ahead. And I decided to bring them to do something fun. So that's what we was doing. I meant to come earlier, but I was like, damn, let me do something with my kids right quick. So basically that's like how I've been chilling today. I ain't really did a lot of research or nothing like that, but I know I wanted to look into this case. But at any time, this live can change because that shit with Cupcake is crazy. But shit, if anybody got a link or something like that, drop it. But let's take a look at this Obdulia Sanchez, woman who live streamed the fatal crash that killed her sister, was arrested again, as Nicolette had said. Again, salute also to Rachel, because she had sent me this via text, and I was like, what? So we gonna take a look.
All right, so this story just entered the newsroom, developing right now. Early this morning, Stockton police were trying to stop a car for a violation near Rosemary Lane. Now, the driver led him on a small chase. A man was able to get away, but the driver, Obdulia Sanchez, that's her picture, she was arrested for weapons and traffic charges. But check this out. This isn't the first time she's been in trouble with the law. She was actually arrested back in 2017. Sanchez was on Instagram when she lost control of her car near Fresno. Her 14-year-old sister, Jacqueline, was thrown from the car and died. There was also another 14-year-old in the car who was hurt.
Okay, that's it. They just cut it off after that and shit. All right. Let me try to spell her name. Obdulia Sanchez. See what else. I know they got more shit on up. Nope, that's the only thing that I'm seeing. 4 days ago, who live streamed Deadly Dude is out of prison. We know that. So I'm sure that more information will roll in on that situation that just happened last night. But it's kind of weird that she just cut it off right there. I mean, that was kind of weird. An abrupt ending or whatever. But we'll continue, to look at that case and whatever they trying to present or whatever. I don't know. But I had kind of just listened to it after she had sent it to me or whatever. But I don't know. It's crazy. It seems like this girl need to stop driving. And anyway, she wasn't supposed to be driving, so that's a violation right there. And then they had let her out, good behavior. How is that good behavior? And then like a week later, literally, or 2 weeks later, she's, getting involved in another dangerous crash or some type of high-speed chase with the police. That shit's crazy. But I don't know, right here is basically, we're going to get back into the MARKEITH Loyd situation. Just again, another quick rundown because I don't know who came or left or whatever since, but MARKEITH Loyd had shot his pregnant girlfriend December of 2016. He was recently in trial. This is a 2-part trial. The first part was for the shooting of his girlfriend. The second part will take place next year, and that was while he was on the run. He allegedly took Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's life at a Walmart. Shortly after that, and the life of Lieutenant Deborah Clayton was taken in January of 2017. But shortly after taking the lieutenant's life, there was a worldwide manhunt or something like that, and he was apprehended. So in the Clayton trial, he faces, obviously first-degree murder or whatever. But even in the trial, which we just we're gonna look at or whatever, basically, they asking for the death penalty basically. But he was convicted, and so we're kind of a little bit late. And I did that on purpose a little bit. I don't really like to always run the trial at the same time as they actually running the trial. I don't know, just because you never know type of shit. Let's wait until some of the hoopla about it is gone and it's less, I guess, important or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so basically we're going to be going to scales of justice for a lot of the clips on the trial. But beforehand, I wanted to take a look at some clips about the story to give you guys a background or whatever. But essentially, this man had took his ex-girlfriend's life and her, baby that was in her belly's life, and is went to trial for the deaths of those two. So this right here that we're looking at is the unedited version of MARKEITH Loyd's arrest video. Now you'll notice that this is like night vision is being used because they was really looking for his ass and it was going down. So we'll try to see what we can get from this. But if we don't really get nothing too big or be able to see too well, we can move on. However, upon his arrest, obviously you would understand with a manhunt, a big situation like
Case
this.
3, we're at hold off distance about 2 miles. Let us know when it's done.
A big situation like this, I didn't know that he was gonna come on all loud like that. But a big situation like this, normally you would understand that there's probably going to be somebody gonna throw hands, bro. They're not gonna go down or whatever. This man ended up losing an eyeball over the shit. I don't know. And was beat up pretty bad or whatever by police, but I don't really give a fuck about this clown because he took the life of an unborn baby. Like, I don't really give a fuck what his girlfriend did. What the fuck just happened? Oh, it's still going, but it, like, stopped. I don't know. Fuck this shit. Okay. So anyway, basically that's why I was trying to look at or whatever, because, they had zeroed in. This is kind of like night vision. It looks really crappy. But,
there's probably 51 total.
It's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, all units go ahead and back in Charlie 36. If you're not on a priority call, you need to be 51 total.
So all these motherfuckers is police and all that shit.
Make sure you hold it back until we identify this guy, guys.
Yeah, one-eyed motherfucker. Real talk. I mean, they beat his ass, y'all. Y'all can see it on the little thumbnail or whatever. You're gonna see it in the clips, and even this one down here, he went to court.
Crawled all the way out across the sidewalk towards the units.
He had gauze all over his face and everything. Like, this some real crazy shit that took place. So I want to go back a little bit because, this is him laying on the ground right here. And they finna walk up to him or whatever. I was trying to see how he got his ass whooped all like that. Oh, conveniently they move away. Oh, don't pay attention to that. But this over here is allegedly him. I don't know what the fuck you looking at over here. You need to be looking over here, fam. One-eyed Willie. Or they allegedly beat the shit out of his ass. I don't know. I guess that's what they doing right here while the cameraman acting like he ain't seeing it and shit like that. But he was apprehended, I don't know if the time is on here. It looks like 100 hours or some shit in 55 minutes.
232 Alpha. 232 Alpha, minimum traffic.
This man do not know how to hold this camera because they right here. Like, what is going on? So that's him being apprehended. Like I said, he had gotten, he had several. His face was fucked up. Like, it's on the thumbnail. Again, this started because he killed his ex-girlfriend, and she was pregnant as well, so killed her and the baby. So this is actually turned into a triple murder. However, the murder part of the police officer involved is actually going to the trial for that is going to be next year. And even with these two, I mean, it looks like he's going to get the death penalty. Like I said, he's already been convicted of, the death of the baby and the ex-girlfriend. And this was just recently. I think they wrapped up with that portion yesterday. So now they're like in the penalty phase, I believe. And kind of just looking at it. Really didn't look at a lot of the trial, just looking at its progress and stuff like that. But this is a situation that you're looking at, the takedown of that right now. But I thought it would, be important. I want to know what the fuck he, killed her and all this shit. There's a lot of cases that I really can't wait till they go to trial because I'm trying to see all the details. And this I was, following along with at the time, too. But I don't know. I was really just waiting for the trial. So we have the whole trial. Probably won't look at really the defense side. The only thing I'm really concerned with as far as defense in any case is if said person had testified. So if we ever have those, other than that, I don't want to listen to the defense try to act like this motherfucker ain't guilty and shit. And we know damn well he blew his head off. I mean, her head off or whatever the fuck. I believe he shot her. I really can't remember too well all the details, but that's just the gist of his apprehension. All these is cops. I'm wondering how he got his ass whooped though. Probably when the camera allegedly wasn't looking. They stepping all on him and shit.
car to the house if you're monitoring on Let's Go.
Shit is crazy.
All right, on 26, they need a case book.
That's 10-4 from Washington. Go ahead and send one. They may have OPD en route, but go ahead and send one in case they need you.
County 333, I'm trying to go 97.
Real talk. Like, the only reason why I don't care is because he murdered not only the woman, but he murdered a unborn baby, bro. Like, I want to know, is the baby his? I want to know what the fuck happened. Like, why? Looks like we dropped some people again. This shit is crazy. YouTube need to quit fucking with me.
333A, Charlie 36. There's a 34 officers already at the house. Just stay in your place.
Yes, he does. He deserves everything he get. What's good, Queen Courtney? I see you up in here. Obviously, Miss Moore. I see you, Lily Gal. George, obviously. Spicy Kai, I see you. So basically, that's what we looking at today or whatever. Again, if anybody has any, I didn't know about the live stream or whatever with Cupcake and shit, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cupcake's daddy has her or, you know, something, bro. I'm still questioning about the ransom, really, though. But clearly, Cupcake hasn't been found, correct? I didn't really look for any updates. I didn't mean to. I don't know. Me and my king got kind of lit last night or whatever, and then I woke up and was like, fuck it, I'm finna go kick it with my kids. So we got dressed and everything like that and went to the Mall of America. Put them on some of the rides there and stuff like that in the amusement park and stuff. And was like, damn, oh, my live. I was supposed to start my live earlier. I was just trying to have some fun with the babies. But so that's that, you know, basically. Now we're gonna move to some of the clips in the matter so we can, you know, kind of know what's going on or whatever in the case. I imagine some people don't remember, or like me, forgot some of the details or didn't even know about the case at all. So we're gonna kind of start and work our way up, and then we'll start the trial or whatever as well, just with some information on this situation with this man. Come on, man. What the fuck?
Orlando Police Department.
They need to quit playing.
Orlando Police Department says they immediately started the investigation after they arrested MARKEITH Loyd in 2017. That investigation was then handed over to State Attorney Phil Archer. News 6's Clay Lepard has been breaking down the findings.
Look like he gonna be losing his life, Miss Moore, because these charges that he was just convicted of killing the unborn baby and all that, it looks like they were seeking the death penalty.
He joins us live in studio with more. Clay?
And regardless, if he killed that police officer, which they claiming that he did, he gonna lose his life anyway. That's right there. They finna take your life.
Justin and Bridget, this is the chopper video that gives us the best look at when MARKEITH Loyd was taken into custody in January of 2017, with Loyd crawling on his stomach to surrender and then being kicked in the head by at least 2 officers before the camera pans away. Based on this investigation,
I knew it was some dirty ass shit. I ain't trying to cape for dude because I really don't give a fuck. Again, he had killed 2 people basically. When you kill a pregnant woman, you're killing, the baby as well. But I knew that the camera had panned away for a reason, bro, because they definitely kicked him in his face. So it looks like that's how he lost his eye, because they must have kicked him dead in his shit and that motherfucker just came out or whatever. I don't know.
Now officially learned that 4 officers used force on Loyd by kicking him and using their rifles to hit him in the face and back. Loyd is still awaiting trial for the murders of Orlando Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton and his pregnant ex-girlfriend, Sade Dixon. When Loyd was walked in front of our camera after his arrest, you could hear him say,
y'all seen how he looked? Y'all seen his face, bro? They beat his ass. I don't even care, though. Real talk. That nigga deserved that shit. They beat his motherfucking ass. They beat his ass. He deserved that, though.
Our camera after his arrest, you could hear him say, "They beat me up," with his eye swollen and eventually a bandage over it. But this report from the state's attorney's office says that force was justified, citing stand your ground. It goes on to say that officers were nervous when Loyd surrendered, in that he was wearing a bulletproof vest, in that he might still have a gun on him, and that he might try to grab an officer's gun. The investigation also points out that one officer may have spit on Loyd when he was arrested. Now, many motions in this case were put
now,
on.
Now, you know damn well they was upset. You know how these cops be. They don't even got to know the cop, and they'll just take you personal or whatever, like you tried to kill them. I think a lot of the beating came from the fact that after he had killed Sade Dixon and her unborn baby, he had then went on, was on the run or whatever. And in January 2017, he was at a Walmart and allegedly took Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's life. And she was a master, like lieutenant or supervisor, whatever, I guess. She had some stripes or whatever. So after that, for days after that, manhunt ensued. And I think that's a lot of their anger. I'm not going to say that they kicked him all in his face because of the unborn baby. I think it was more about the officer.
On hold while this excessive force investigation was ongoing. His trial for the murder of Lieutenant Deborah Clayton is scheduled to start in May of 2020, and the trial for Dixon's murder expected to happen in September. Bridget and Justin.
So that's where we kind of add or whatever, but we'll, check out some of these other clips on it or whatever so we can understand what's going on. This was his first court appearance. Basically in shit. I know that in some of his cases or whatever, some of his court appearances, he was like very like wild acting and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I believe one time, if I'm not mistaken, he like started yelling and screaming in the courtroom and shit. I don't know, but this is his first court appearance.
Good morning, sir. Can you please tell me your name?
My name is MARKEITH Loyd.
Officers, can you pull the mic a little bit closer? Good morning, Mr. Loyd. You're here for first appearances. Pursuant to an arrest warrant for events occurring on December 13th of 2006. Count 1, first-degree murder with a firearm. Count 2, killing an unborn child by injury to a mother. Count 3, attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. Count 4, aggravated assault with a firearm. And finally, count 5, aggravated assault with a firearm. Again, PC was found because this was pursuant to a warrant. Sir, you are entitled to the services of a public defender. It's my understanding that you did not want to fill out an application.
He is big, and he is an asshole, for real.
Do you want a public defender appointed to represent you, Mr. Loyd? Okay, and do you plan to hire your own attorney?
I'm defend myself.
You're going to defend yourself pro se. And what's the highest grade that you've completed in school, Mr. Loyd? Have you ever represented yourself in a criminal case before? Do you know the maximum penalties associated with these offenses?
It don't matter.
Okay. Can you read, write, and understand the English language? Right. And you believe you can defend yourself? Yes. And you understand that you have, you understand the nature of these offenses, sir?
Say it again.
And you understand the nature and severity of these offenses, sir? Are you sure you don't want a public defender appointed to represent you? I'm sorry, sir, what did you say?
Nothing.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to go ahead and do.
Well, first of all, I got questions to ask.
You're here for first appearances on a warrant, sir.
Y'all making up shit like I just went in there and shot this girl, endangering my family.
Okay, a judge is a...
What if other people want to do something back? Y'all portray this shit to the news people. Like I just went in there and shot this girl when there was other guns found on the scene. And all kinds of guns were pulled on me for it, but y'all acting like I just went there and shot her. Her little brother got dropped off while me and her was standing there talking.
First of all, when you do your first appearance, I know that a lot of people want to talk, but your best bet is to shut the fuck up, okay? Especially when you claiming that you're finna represent yourself. I can't tell you right now if he did represent himself. I don't believe that he did, but we have seen that happen. We've seen Tiffany Moss trial. If you go over to my Queen Supreme channel, you could find the whole trial of Tiffany Moss, and basically Tiffany Moss and them had, were Tiffany Moss and her husband were charged with the death of Imani Moss, who was Iman Moss's daughter and Tiffany Moss's stepdaughter. And basically, they were charged in her death because they caused her death, right? So, and Tiffany Moss had represented herself, but now is trying to get an appeal and a new retrial and all that. So at some time, if she comes back, we'll look at that. But the Tiffany Moss trial, I just uploaded the information. I didn't leave any commentary or whatever. So if you would like to go view that, she did. But I don't know. Especially when you don't know about the law, it's kind of not a good idea to represent yourself, especially if you have serious charges. So I don't know, bro. But I think this is going to be a good trial.
So there's all kind of other shit that happened before y'all just put on the news. Oh, I just went there and shot this girl, got my family at danger. So no, I wasn't coming in right
State's
then.
requesting Mr. Loyd be placed under oath before any further proceedings.
He's already been placed under oath.
Under oath.
Everything you say is being recorded, sir. So,
Yeah, she should know that.
It looked like his teeth broken out of his mouth and everything.
Lawyer, what's she talking for?
So here's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead.
I'm not finished talking because y'all been making up shit the whole time, and then y'all make up stuff on my family, lock them up because my check. I work. I work 2-3 jobs. I work and I work for that money, and that's why he gave that money to my daughter, and he gave my niece the other half because he didn't give my daughter all of it. That money was not for me.
All right. Here's what I'm going to go
I
ahead.
didn't receive nothing from nobody. I was out there by myself. How in the hell anybody helping me doing anything? I went to Walmart myself to buy food. Wasn't nobody doing nothing for me.
So we're only addressing the one case, and I told you what you're here for.
Y'all know about all y'all lies y'all doing. I don't care.
I'm going to
I don't
set
care about none of that.
on counts 1, 2, and 3. Bond is going to be set at no bond. Additionally, on counts 4 and 5, I'll set bond at $1,500 apiece, totaling no bond plus $3,000. Additionally, I'm ordering some special conditions. You are not to contact Ronald Stewart, the victim in one of these counts. Additionally, you are not to contact any witnesses or victims' family members.
Hey, Joyce, I see you up in here. Let me give you a quick rundown. So we're kind of looking at MARKEITH, Loyd, and I had talked about this situation. We're just looking at some information before we start looking at the trial. And MARKEITH was recently convicted of shooting a pregnant ex-girlfriend of his named Sade Dixon. And Sade was also pregnant at the time, so killing her and her unborn child. The two had passed away December of 2016, some date there. And while on the run, he had actually shot Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, who was like a master, lieutenant or something like that. Basically, he had shot her January of 2017 outside of a Walmart. Now, after he had shot Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, that is when a manhunt ensued. And upon his arrest, he was, kicked and hit with guns in his face, spit on, allegedly, all type of stuff. Now, the part about the Clayton, Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, that whole situation will take place next year. But the death of Sade Dixon and her unborn child, Sade again was the ex-girlfriend of MARKEITH Loyd. He recently was found guilty, basically, and I believe they're in the penalty phase of that situation. Yes, he took 3 lives altogether. And it's sad that the woman was pregnant. I feel bad for her. She lost her life, but ultimately I'm here about the child. I'm not gonna lie, but I do, again, I feel bad that the woman had lost her life as well. I don't really know about the lieutenant woman. I don't really feel like she deserved to lose her life, but that just goes to show how fucking crazy this man is, and how much of a danger to society that he was, being out and shit like that, to just kill people with no regard. And I'm not saying that it would have been okay if he waited until she had the baby and all that to take her life, but I'm just saying, like, this dude is he's crazy. So we're going to attempt to look at a lot of this case. Hey, Slick Whips, I see you up in here. I got the trial and stuff like that, but we're just looking at some information on it, just to refresh some memories or inform people that didn't know even about this guy, period. So let's go back into it. But again, like I said, the Clayton trial, that will take place next year sometime. So I don't know what month they're talking about setting it for. So I don't know, it could be a couple of months and we'll be back with the same dude or whatever, you know what I mean? Because I want to cover that as well. I want to see what happens. But I know that he was, based off of his charges, he was facing the death penalty, and I believe that's what he's gonna get in the penalty phase for the life of, you know, the child and the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend in this case. And then you already know when they, you know, bring him to court for the death of the lieutenant, they're gonna demand the death penalty as well. So I mean, but in the case of his girlfriend, it was first-degree murder for the mother, first-degree murder for the unborn baby, as well as attempted murder charges, an attempted first-degree murder charge, and 2 counts of felony murder. I don't know why that's what it said in the thing far as details. That's what they classified it as. So I don't know. Maybe the other murder was like unpremeditated. I don't fucking know. But he definitely got first-degree murder, and that's premeditated murder. So let's, you know, continue back in this just to let you guys know this shit's gonna be crazy.
Ms. Dixon's family members, I want to be clear on this. You are not to have any contact, whether it's third-party contact through other people, no telephone communication. I'll have him read that in just a moment. You're not to contact Dominique Daniels, Stephanie Dixon Daniels, Ron Daniels, or her children. There is a form there that you're going to need to sign off on. I'm going to go ahead and we'll give you a court date sometime out. It'll be on the paperwork for determination of counsel.
And then when they had me in the hospital, the Channel 9 News sent out there waiting for me to come out to see what they did for me. Or they done took my eye. They done broke my nose, broke my jaw. They did all this shit till I resisted, but I crawled out to the motherfucking road. So how did I resist? I ain't resist shit. They just did that shit and they tried to hide it from the news people, but I'm here right now.
Corrections, I think we've established everything we need to do in a first appearance hearing. He can be taken after he signs.
Lady, fuck you.
Have him sign the no contact.
I'm trying to tell you, fuck you. Think about that shit.
So that was that, y'all. You can't see. What you mean? He can't see it. His ass. I don't feel bad for him. I really don't. Let's continue with some of this information that they bring into the table. This is a 17-minute thing. I think it's important to just take a look at the information that is brought so we could be fully aware of what's going on when we go into this trial or whatever. Because as you see, it's all right here. I mean, we probably ain't going to touch base on this, but I did see this one. And, you know, bro, he had deep-ass security. He, at times, did flip out in court. So I've been, you know, watching this and watching over it. Hey, Joel, I see you up in here.
We are now getting confirmation right now that the Orlando Police Department...
Hey, Danielle, I see you.
They have captured Markeith Loyd, the man who they have been looking for, at least for this past week. We want to share the tweet with you right now, and I think it just really summarizes everything. Wow. Captured in bright red letters across that poster, showing the face of Markeith Loyd, possibly the most wanted man in Central Florida. OPD now saying they have him in custody, and that is how that OPD...
Me neither. I think I'd have been like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Shit, the fuck? I don't think I could be the judge in that situation. He was a firecracker, boy.
Tweet begins, we've got him.
Markeith Loyd has been captured. That announcement coming from Orlando Police within the past 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at a tweet that Orlando Police Chief John Mina just sent out. Captured and wearing Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's handcuffs. We want to be clear on that.
That's why they whooped his ass like that. That's why they kicked him all in the face and hit him with rifles and shit like that, or whatever they had said, guns or whatever. It wasn't about the you know, the woman and the unborn baby that lost her life. It was about her, and you can see that definitely right here, captured and wearing Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's handcuffs. Now, Lieutenant Deborah Clayton was the woman that after he had killed the girlfriend and the unborn child, he had took Deborah Clayton, who was a police officer, whatever's life, superior, whatever, January 2017 outside of a Walmart. So, you know, it was more personal, I think, about the cop's life in reality.
He was taken into custody. They actually put Lieutenant Clayton's handcuffs on him.
Those would have been the handcuffs. If she had been able to apprehend him that morning, those would have been...
No, Patricia, I had heard about it. Somebody had said, one of the royal family members had said that Cupcake's dad has her or whatever, but, you know, I didn't see any updates. I've been at home with the kids all day. I mean, chilling with the kids and having fun with them and stuff like that. What? Yeah. Thank you. So basically that was it. All right. Oh, he's here. What's up, cuz? So basically, you know, shit, I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about.
The handcuffs he was taken away in, but instead, unfortunately, he ended up shooting and killing her. But tonight, he is in custody. 41-year-old MARKEITH Loyd, one of the most wanted men in Central Florida, even on the FBI and the U.S. Marshals most wanted list.
And Mike, can you just give us the name of that as well? You said it was at a home in Metro West.
Yes, my sources tell me it was in the Metro West area near Kirkman and Old Winter Garden Road. The name of the street is Lescott Lane. That's Lescott Lane. My sources confirmed that was the location. It happened tonight, and these are impeccable sources, so we're right on the money with this. News 6 breaking the story right now.
And have they been able to tell you in the manner in which he was taken into custody? Do you know if they went in and broke down some doors of that home? What happened?
I'm still...
My bad, y'all. Sometimes, you know, I got ADHD and shit, so when people come in and ask me questions or I get thrown off, sometimes I forget until I remember again and shit. Probably the weed, too. But, cop was laughing, too. I believe he was, shit. That shit's crazy, though. Like, dude was a piece of shit. Dude definitely was a piece of shit. And I believe he deserved it. I'm like I said already, I ain't never finna cry that he had lost his eyeball or whatever like that. But back to what we was talking about, Patricia, I didn't know about that. Anybody with a wrench, if you guys have a link to that or whatever, you could put it in the description, or I can address that at another time, because I'm not, you know, just because we about to start this trial, you know, I'm not about to, you know, just forget about other cases or whatever. We will, you know, follow through with updates and stuff like that, and what's going on with Cupcake is very important to me. But you know, the kids was off, so I was just like, fuck it, we finna have some fun, you know. So I just kind of wasn't on my normal thing today because my kids are off for today and tomorrow. So I was just like, let me do at least something with them, fun or whatever. So that's kind of why I didn't really research anything today. But I wanted to anyway come today to do this, start looking at this trial or whatever, etc. And like I normally don't show all of the defense or whatever, especially if I'm doing commentary, because all I'm gonna do is talk shit. But, you know, we'll break this case down as we go or whatever. Yeah, his eyeball, bro. He's a one eye symbolism already. Here we go. Real talk. I just don't feel bad for him. Fuck him. Fuck his the other eye up. Fuck his teeth up. I'm not, you know, mad at all. In reality, shit. He took an unborn baby's life. Like, he shouldn't even have a life. Why they just didn't take his life at the scene? Here it is. You know what I mean? The shit that they need to exterminate off of this world, they don't. They just let them live for 180 years and all that shit. But anyway, so we gonna get back into this or whatever. This basically 17-minute clip. I might probably just play this whole thing and then maybe cut out the rest of the updates, because they probably gonna have a lot, you know, of the information or whatever. But this is right after he was arrested. The kind of commentary by the news about him being locked up and shit like that. The shit is crazy. I don't know. He deserves it, though. I don't feel bad for this nigga. So this trial is going to be a little bit different than other trials.
Developing that. I know they located that area. I don't know if there were other people in the house. I don't know if there was a conflict. Obviously, you saw the physical look of his face, him claiming they beat him up. So he may have been putting up a fight. We just don't know yet. And OPD will fill us in at 8:30. Let me assure you, we're working more intelligence right now. Those are great questions. Those are the sorts of things we've been asking. And as soon as I can confirm them for you, I'll call back and have more details. Of course, Chief Mina will lay out much more for us at 8:30. But if I can get the intel now, I'll get it back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, Mike, I know you have been in this area for quite some time now, and you have covered multiple stories. In your time here, have you ever seen anything like this?
No. This one singular action ripped this community apart. And the way the community worked together and the way we responded has been tremendous. And hats off to OPD and law enforcement. They were methodical, they didn't waste time, and they got the job done.
We're still trying to figure out, too, exactly what he is wearing as they brought him in. We had heard from police and deputies throughout the week that they were concerned that he might be wearing some type of body armor. And I don't know if we can slow down that video at all. It appears like he has some type of sweatshirt on.
I'm not
just
sure.
hard to tell.
We have now reestablished contact with Mike Hofeld, who has some new information for us. Mike, what can you tell us?
Ginger, you were asking some key questions. What went down?
I heard that, back when this had happened, that they put his sweatshirt over his head because he was spitting on them and they didn't have a spit mask. But it didn't look to me like he had any body armor on, unless that's the original reason why they lifted up his sweatshirt or whatever, because it looked like in the front, it was like brought to the front. I don't know, though. That shit's kind of weird. I don't know. This shit is weird.
News 6 can now confirm that law enforcement surrounded the house on Lescott Lane, which is near Kirkman, and we've got that map to give you a sense of logistics. My sources tell me he was ordered out. Loyd was ordered out. He crawled out. He resisted. There was a struggle to put the cuffs on him. He was wearing body armor and had 2 weapons. He had 2 firearms on him. And sources are telling me they're trying to figure out.
Well, I suppose if you kill a cop, why not just go all out type of shit? In reality, anybody that would kill a cop, like, unless it's like for, their, they must have a death wish in reality, because even if you killed them because you were trying to, this motherfucker was trying to kill you, or some like crazy ass vigilante fucking cop or rogue cop or whatever, I just don't know how you would ever fight that in court, because these people, they don't play when it comes to they self or whatever. You know what I mean?
If more charges are coming. That's what I just got off the phone. My source confirming that more charges could be coming. Loyd was armed, had body armor, crawled out, resisted, and that may explain the trauma we see on his face.
Nadine Yanis is live for us outside of OPD. We're expecting a press conference to begin any minute now. Nadine, what are you hearing there?
Well, Matt, we were actually just here with a big group of reporters. You can see a couple people are going in right now. Complete vindication here at Orlando Police Department. It was an hour ago that we got that tweet that we've been waiting for 9 days now. We've got him. And here I am standing at the Orlando Police Department. I've been covering this manhunt every day since, and I can't help but smile when I see this face, Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, because tonight, like I said, there's vindication for her. Orlando police saying...
So it only matters about the lieutenant? Now that shit kind of pisses me off, because what's important to me? A cop or a motherfucking unborn baby? The unborn baby. Like, in reality, I'm not finna lie. Fuck that lady. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. But, I mean, I'm sure... Shit. She probably went to try to apprehend him. It ain't fair the way it worked out or whatever. But in this portion, you don't hear nothing about him killing the pregnant lady or whatever. Sade Dixon, his ex-girlfriend, who was obviously pregnant, because he was just found guilty of killing her and her unborn child as separate charges. So the unborn baby in this case was a first-degree murder charge of an unborn baby. The first charge was first-degree murder of Sade Dixon. So, but in this news broadcast, they will just have you believe, if you didn't know the whole story, that this man had only just killed this cop, when in reality, it was way much deeper than that. You know what I mean? There's a backstory to this shit. They don't want to tell you that.
That they captured and arrested MARKEITH Loyd with her handcuffs tonight. So again, a lot of the reporters and the news, they just let us in for this news conference that's expected to start at 8:30. Orlando police has been very prompt about these things, so I want to go inside and go ahead and get set up. But definitely a good feeling of urgency, but yet a good feeling of happiness at OPD.
Yeah, Nadine, we couldn't help but notice as they were bringing him in, Chief Mina was kind of straggling behind, and he had a huge smile on his face. There has to be a lot of relief around there right now tonight.
I mean, can you imagine? It's been 9 days of just nonstop, round-the-clock working. They brought in 1,400 tips in the last 9 days. They've had SWAT on standby 24/7, searching homes, and they were very scared that he was armed and dangerous. Last week, Chief Mina said that he believed that MARKEITH Loyd was wearing a bulletproof vest, that he could have been wearing the same body armor when and if he was captured. And it was funny, all week, Chief Mina was saying, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And tonight is that night, and I'm sure that's where his smile came from.
Right now, that press conference is expected to give us a lot of light. Right now, all we have are our sources telling us, Mike Holfeld's sources telling us how this all went down.
That's right, and we want to check in now with Vanessa Ariza. We believe she is live in the area near Metro West on Lescott Lane, where we understand he was taken into custody before 7 o'clock this evening. Obviously, a lot of police activity behind you, Vanessa. Where exactly are you and what is going on?
Lisa, we just got here maybe about 10-15 minutes ago, so we're trying to get as much information as possible. Right now, this main stretch right here, this is Raleigh Street. This corner right here, that is Lescott Lane. That is, I'm not sure how far you can see just because it's dark out here, but there is caution tape that is lining the house that is on the corner here, and it goes down just a bit farther. And then you have, as you can see, and as you said, Lisa, heavy police presence. You have Orlando police out here. You have Orange County Sheriff's deputies who are out here. Now, traffic is flowing just pretty steadily throughout this area, but the Lescott Lane has been blocked off, so I haven't seen anybody going down that area right now. There are a lot of people who are out here trying to kind of just get, I'm sure, as much information as possible and kind of checking out what is going on. About maybe 5 minutes ago, if that, I had a chance to talk with a woman. She actually lives just a few blocks down. She said for the past week and a half, she has been scared to come out of her house. She said, you know what, I would go home, I would go straight into my house because I was fearful of this man who was out there, didn't know where he was. So she, as I'm sure with so many other people, were excited to hear the news that Loyd has been taken into custody. She says, I'm not afraid to go into my house anymore, which you think it should be so simple and you should have.
Right. And it actually took longer than that because they talking about 9 days to find him as of when he killed Lieutenant Deborah Clayton. But in reality, he had killed the baby and the ex-girlfriend in December of 2016. So he had been on the run for a minute, and then it was like a manhunt because he had, they were looking for him for the murder of the woman and the unborn baby. But then when he killed the lieutenant, then it became a manhunt, and that went on for 9 days. But why aren't they bringing more up also the woman and the baby, bro? It's way bigger than just he killed the little lieutenant bitch. You know what I mean? No, fam, it's way deeper than that.
You shouldn't
I didn't mean to call her a bitch. I don't know. She ain't ever did nothing to me, but I don't know. I'm not really I'm just gonna be honest. I ain't finna cry about no police losing their life. I'm just gonna be real.
Worry about going into your house, So like I said, we just got here about 10-15 minutes ago, going to try to see if we can talk with anybody else, see if anybody lives here down Lescott Lane, see if we can talk with them. And I'm sure we're going to keep going back and forth with you guys in the studio.
Absolutely, Vanessa, we know you.
Right, gangbangers die every day. So the police, they gangbangers too, shit. In my eyes, shit. You know what I mean? Maybe if they didn't do what they do, you know what I mean? But I don't feel bad that MARKEITH Loyd got his ass whooped by police either, though. And even though it was probably just for the lieutenant, it's all right because, I'm claiming that eyeball, though. I'm claiming that eyeball for the death of this baby, though. Real talk. Because this baby, to me, was more powerful than anybody that got murdered involved. The mother was a vessel of that baby, and it just really kind of pisses me off that this video is not really even talking about what started this whole event. Salute King, question everything. I see you up in here. I didn't mean to be dismissive. It's like every time I go live, then here come my king. He like, bae, and bae, and bae, and bae. I'm like, all right, shut up. But question everything said it's like if he didn't kill the cop, they would not care. Big facts, big facts. But we're gonna get into the trial of this at some point, right, today. And MARKEITH Loyd was tried for first-degree murder of, the girlfriend, first-degree murder of the unborn baby, as well as 2 other counts of felony murder or whatever. They was trying to hit him with, like, attempted first-degree murder and stuff like that. But because I believe that at the crib or the house where all this shit took place at, where he ended up killing Sade and her unborn baby, that he had attempted to kill some other people up in there. You know what I'm saying? Up in the house or whatever. You had heard him speak about the woman's brother. When he was talking about the woman's brother, he was talking about Sade's brother and family and stuff like that. And in his first court thing, we kind of heard in that clip that he was just like, y'all don't even know what's going on, and he was ordered to stay away from all these people. And so that's where I think these other charges of an attempted first-degree murder and 2 counts of felony murder, I don't know, that's what the report had said. But it definitely seems like, what's good, Snapzilla? It definitely seems like they don't really care about this woman and her unborn child, and that's what we here today for, bro. Like, we definitely here for that baby. Belinda says, hello everyone, salute to Queen. Not to get on a different subject, but in the cupcake case, when the man they arrested with the truck bonded out at 3:30 this morning. Say what? Yeah, we gonna have to, I'm not finna lie, just to, go through this again or whatever. I had not really followed up on the case, you know what I'm saying, last night. My king, we was on some turned up shit or whatever, and then when I woke up this morning, my kids, they didn't have school for today or tomorrow and stuff like that, so I wanted to take them out and do something fun with them. So that's what we did. And I'm basically, when I started my live, pretty much just getting back from that and setting up my live and stuff. So I really didn't look into the information of that case, but I will be touching base on it after this video or tomorrow or whatever, because we need to know what the fuck is going on. And him bonding out at 3:30, like, that's some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit, but 3:30 equals 6. So, hello, there was a lot of numerology in that shit as well, that case as well. But I don't know what's going on, but I will definitely, we'll try to address what we can address here today. But I'll, at least come before you guys just solely about the cupcake shit, and I'll look into it or whatever. I just want to have time to look into it. But know that we're not done with the cupcake shit, and I will be updating, but I don't want to be playing with no child shit, especially no child that is missing or nothing like that. And I want to not ill speak in that shit. This shit right here, if I find out that I'm wrong about something I said, okay, shit, it's whatever. But when we're dealing with a little child that's missing, I need to, like, concentrate, not have any distractions, and then get ready to present what I'm finna present or whatever. So we definitely will touch base on it. We definitely will. He doesn't care about anything. You can tell by the way he talked to the judge. Big facts. He really doesn't. Hey, Dr. Bombay. I'll make sure you check out Dr. Bombay. Question Everything. Snapzilla. Joyce got a little channel. Whoever got a channel, make sure you support them.
You just arrived on scene. We're going to let you go so you can gather some more information. We want to bring back in Mike Holfeld now, who is standing by joining us on the phone. And Mike, you were the first to report that he was arrested on Lescott Lane in a house there, just to give our viewers a better idea of where.
You talking about Ikamel's channel, Belinda? Okay. All right. Well, right now we're here for this, so we'll see. It ain't gonna, you know what I mean. I hope the baby girl is found and stuff like that, but we'll see
where exactly this is. This is in the Carver Shores area of Orange County, not far from Carver Middle School, and really just about 5 miles from the Walmart where Lieutenant Deborah Clayton was gunned down. You've also been the first to report to us that he was found with 2 guns and wearing body armor. What else have your sources been telling you?
That's all the intel I have right now. But of course, remember how we said this was a flowing situation. Seeing Vanessa's vantage point clearly, we've got it right. So we like to stress on developing stories. Some facts may change, but we got it right.
MARKEITH Loyd has been arrested and is in custody, and we are extremely grateful for that. So we did want to give you some details about the...
Hey, Coco, the motherfucking cop bonded out as well after he was picked up for murder. What? What cop? What cop, Coco? I'm lost now. Y'all talking about like all this information. I'm like, what? I'm like, damn, why? Now y'all got me thinking about I should have just did the, you know, more information on Cupcake or whatever. But I didn't just want to be sitting around here just, you know, trying to figure out what's going on in my live stream or whatever. I hope y'all understand that we definitely gonna touch base on it. Shit got me pissed the fuck off. I feel you.
The investigation and the arrest. So approximately...
All right, well, what happened here? Tatiana. Oh, wow. Yeah. Because that he bonded out and stuff like that. Damn, now I'm wishing I did a different topic. But we gonna ride out with this one. Shit, fuck it. We can always come back for another one or whatever. MARKEITH Loyd. This man down here, you can see him. This man down here that we're talking about right now, MARKEITH Loyd had shot pregnant ex-girlfriend, and obviously she was pregnant with the baby, so was charged with first-degree murder and first-degree murder of an unborn child. There was other charges that I believe surfaced because of people that were also at the home when he had shot the pregnant ex-girlfriend. Sade Dixon was her name, and we don't obviously have a name for the unborn child, but they were murdered December of 2016. Now, days after that, right, the police was looking for him allegedly for the murders. They wanted to question him or whatever. Well, he was on the run for those murders, and basically January 2017, he had shot and killed, or he had killed Lieutenant Deborah Clayton outside of a Walmart. And then after that, there was a manhunt for several days, a worldwide manhunt. And that is when he was arrested. Upon his arrest, they had, beat him up pretty bad, kicked him in the face, hit him in the face with police, hit him in the face with guns and rifles or whatever. They was pissed off, right? But I think a lot of this anger comes from the fact that he had killed the cop, and really, in reality, I don't even think they would have made this a whole big situation like this if it wasn't for the cop thing. However, he was recently convicted because this trial is going to be in two parts. They just got done, and we're going to start the trial of the murder of Sade Dixon and the unborn baby. However, next year, which we will pull up to cover as well, the murder of Deborah Clayton, the lieutenant that he had murdered 2017. So this trial is being broken into two parts, and basically they're in the penalty phase, so there has to be some type of they want his life for what he did or whatever, and I believe that he's going to get it, at least for the shooting of the woman and the baby. Now, you already know the Lieutenant Dixon situation. Deborah Clayton situation. You already know they gonna try to get him the death penalty. You know what I mean? In reality or whatever. But we'll come back for that when that kind of takes place or whatever. What's good, Brandon? Salute to the queen. Can you make sense of the FB and Instagram streams dealing with Cupcake, please? I will be looking into it. I spoke up on it today a little bit. Basically just stating that I was unaware of what was kind of going on because my kids were off of school, so I wanted to do something fun with them, and that's what we did. I took them to the mall. They went on, some rides and stuff like that, and we had fun, went out to eat and stuff, but I want to come back for that, but I had already kind of had it scheduled that this would be today's live stream. So I'm off tomorrow as well, so I will be touching base, if not a portion, like before we get back into the trial of the next live stream, or if it's just solely its own live stream. I want to take time to review and research the information before I'm ready to present, if that's all right.
7 p.m. tonight, members from the Orlando Police
Hey, G-Dup, I see you. Y'all make sure y'all check out G-Dup's channel as well.
Department, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the U.S. Marshal's Office located MARKEITH Loyd at 1156 Lescott Lane in Carver Shores. The house was surrounded. A SWAT call-out was initiated. Before a SWAT team arrived, MARKEITH did try to escape out the back sliding glass doors. He was confronted by...
If this is in Orlando, Florida, so, you already know they got the death penalty, and they ain't got no problem with taking somebody's life. So, that's the situation. But again, it seems like this clip, they're only really concerned with the fact that this man had took, the lieutenant's life or whatever. There's very little mention or none of the unborn baby or the ex-girlfriend, but that's what the trial that we're going to look at today has something to do with. So we'll, just review it, pass up shit as we need to. I'm not, again, really worried about the defense's side of the trial. Only if MARKEITH had went up there and testified himself would I pull up for that, because I just don't have time to just listen to him, act like this nigga ain't guilty. But I don't know. Shit, it depends, because this trial might be, deep as hell. But we will touch base on other topics. For those that are new to this channel, just because we're dealing with a trial, that doesn't, stop any other updates of any other case or whatever. What I like to do is before we get, started, if there is updates, try to do those updates then. And then, continue with the other things. So, that's where I'm at.
Orlando police officers. He ran back inside the house and then subsequently came out the front door.
Live. Good night, Derek. I see you up in here. Salute. Much love.
Results. This is News 6 at 11.
What'd you do it? They beat me up. Where have you been hiding?
They got him. MARKEITH Loyd, the man wanted for killing an Orlando police officer and his own pregnant ex-girlfriend, is captured.
I was extremely happy that this dangerous person was off the streets.
They will sleep better knowing tonight that I'm going to describe this individual as this maniac, if you will, is off the streets of our community.
And you're looking live right now at where it all went down, a neighborhood, an abandoned home, the manhunt over, the investigation just beginning. Good evening, I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Lisa Bell. For 9 days, this community has waited and asked, when will MARKEITH Loyd be caught? Tonight, it finally happened. The news breaking around 7 tonight. Orlando.
Yeah, G'd up, but I don't feel bad about them beating him. Just to give you a little quick rundown of whatever, dude had killed a lieutenant. But before he had killed the police lieutenant, he had also killed his ex-girlfriend, who was pregnant at the time, and attempted to kill some other people or whatever. So we ain't really caring that they had fucked him up, took his eyeball out, and all type of other shit. He's a scumbag, and in reality, the only reason why I'm really pulling up, I mean, I care about the mother. I don't feel like she should have lost her life, but I'm pissed about that unborn child like that. I don't give a fuck what type of beef you have with somebody or how serious it is. I think that he could have spared this unborn child by at least waiting until, damn, bro, like she had the baby or something. Like, I just don't know. And then for this man to just be running around killing, I think basically that, if I'm not mistaken, because this has been a couple of years or whatever, but he had just went to trial, and this is, recent or whatever. I believe he was fucking with this girl. He already had another girl, and he went over there to kill her because he didn't want the baby to be born, type of shit or whatever. And it was like a whole situation with the family. And then after killing her, he was on the run. Not really on the run, like, all points bulletin type of shit, like what you see right here, but they was looking for him. And then he had went to a Walmart, and Lieutenant Deborah Clayton had seen him, and identified him, and she was about to apprehend him or attempt to, right? And he had killed her, and then after that ensued a manhunt that took place for about 9 days, and then that's when he was captured. Hello, Kiari, I'm live. He was captured. They kicked him in the face, hit him with guns and all that. And like I said, I don't really give a fuck. To me, if you man enough to kill an unborn child, bitch, take all them licks. And I mean that shit, like dead ass. He's a bozo. Facts. Facts, big facts.
Orlando police making the announcement with this tweet, the word captured across his mugshot, with the tweet reading, "We've got him."
At this hour, Loyd is inside these walls. Sky 6 live over Orlando Regional Medical Center right now, where Loyd is being treated for injuries from the arrest.
We have team coverage tonight. Troy Campbell is at
diaper and shit. We're just gonna really I pulled up some other clips or whatever. We're just gonna really kind of take a look. There's about, let me see, 6 more minutes of this clip, and then we're just gonna kind of jump right into the trial, right? Because I wanted to, get started pretty much.
RMC Vanessa Ariza is in the neighborhood where Loyd was caught. But we begin with Nadine Yanis, live at Orlando Police Headquarters with the latest on the arrest. Nadine.
Well, Lisa, like you said, it's been a long 9 days. Chief Mina says many of his officers 24/7 working around the clock, not eating, not sleeping, not even leaving their patrol cars looking for Loyd. He says some of them even skipped out on Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's funeral this weekend. He says those same officers wept as they put her handcuffs on Loyd tonight. It was around 7:30 tonight when an almost unrecognizable MARKEITH Loyd was brought into the Orlando Police Department.
They beat me up.
Yelling, "They beat me," through his swollen, bloody lips. An hour later, Chief Mina makes the announcement he's been waiting to say for 9 days.
As you know, MARKEITH Loyd has been arrested.
Police say Loyd was found in an abandoned house in the Carver Shores neighborhood. He tried to escape out the back through a sliding glass door, but was confronted by officers and scoured back in. Coming out the front door wearing body armor, throwing down 2 guns, one with a 100-round magazine on the ground.
Where is the body armor, though? That's why another reason why I can't wait for this trial, because I don't know. I don't really believe that he had body armor on, but whatever they talking about, we'll see it, I guess. But again, for the cop killing part, that trial starts next year sometime, so we'll pull up for that as well. Today, this is just some background story on this dude's demeanor and all that bullshit.
Taken into custody. He did resist arrest, and he does have some facial injuries, and Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's handcuffs were placed on him.
Chief Mina says the first phone call he made was to Lieutenant Clayton's husband, Seth.
I told him about the arrest, and he was relieved and happy, but also upset to know that he was arrested right around the corner from Deborah's mother's house.
Sheriff Jerry Deming says the capture was...
I'm pretty sure he didn't know that was her house.
Bittersweet, just as he buried his deputy Norman Lewis yesterday.
This community certainly has been emotionally impacted by the set of events during the last week, and so
they beat his ass. They fucked him up. I think he's missing teeth and all type of shit.
I believe that our entire community
ain't help him one bit. They stomped a mud hole in his ass.
Is going to breathe a sigh of relief at this point, because they will sleep better knowing tonight that I'm going to describe this individual as this maniac, if you will, is off the streets of our community.
Though bittersweet, this was the moment they were waiting for. MARKEITH Loyd coming out around 9:30 this time with bandages around his face. Mumbling again, "They beat me," as he shuffled to the police car headed to jail.
Did you want to say anything to Lieutenant Clayton's family?
So Sheriff Jerry Deming says tonight they're already writing up the charges to charge Loyd with first-degree murder in connection with his ex-girlfriend's murder back on December 13th. And you can imagine more charges will be coming in connection with the death of Deputy Norman Lewis and Lieutenant Deborah Clayton as well. But at least for tonight, their families have some closure.
guys.
Yeah, a lot of charges on the way, Nadine. Thank you. And here is where Loyd spent his final moments hiding, an abandoned house. Now the focus of the investigation. You can see investigators and officers at the front door there, the same door police say Loyd tried to use to escape. The house is on Lescott Lane. That's just off Raleigh Street near Carver Middle School. That's where we find News 6's Vanessa Ariza live tonight. Vanessa, Chief Mina says good old-fashioned police work led his officers there.
That's right, Matt. Now, as far as the details that led officers and the SWAT team to this house behind me, Chief Mina says they are not discussing that at this moment in time. You can see investigators are still here at the house. They have been inside. They have been outside. Within the past couple of minutes, the crime scene truck just left the scene, but they have been taking what looked to be like very large brown paper bags outside of the house, presumably evidence that may possibly help in this case. Now, also here at the scene within the past hour and a half or so was Lieutenant Clayton's nephew. He tells me that this arrest is what the family has been waiting for.
My aunt just got her justice. You know, that this guy that everybody's been looking for is finally off the streets.
Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's nephew, Jarvis Grant, was at a basketball game when he got the news of MARKEITH Loyd's capture.
The part that got me the most is when they told me that they arrested him and put her cuffs on and brought him out the house.
Loyd was hiding out in this house along Lescott Lane. For how long? That's unknown. What shocks Grant the most is that his grandmother lives just down the street.
To me, it's unbelievable, just seeing just how close he actually was to all of us. And like, it's just unbelievable he's right here. It doesn't make me angry that he was this close, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm just relieved. I'm happy.
News of the arrest is a relief for Grant and his family, but he says it's a loss that is going to take time. As for any words for Loyd, Grant says he doesn't have any, but he does have an idea of how his aunt would react right now.
I'm sure she'll be happy. She'll be happy that a guy like that is no longer on the streets.
Now, while that story was just airing, 2 police officers' vehicles just came out from beside the house, and the caution tape is coming down. It looks like they may be done with Loyd's house or this house that Loyd did come out of earlier this evening for the time being. Now, we also had a chance to talk with a neighbor in this area. She said that she wasn't home at the time.
All right, we about to get started with this trial or whatever. Let me take these off. There's more in the file, but we're just gonna worry about the trial. Far as hold on, I don't want to. A lot of this shit we'll hear and see in the trial and shit. I just want to kind of give you guys a rundown of what's going on. So let's start up here. Let me see. Let's start up here. You know, this is the opening statements of MARKEITH Loyd's trial. In the death of, you know, as you can see right here, 24-year-old Sade Dixon, his ex-girlfriend who was pregnant with his child. So he had killed his child, royal family, as well as his ex-girlfriend. Loyd is claiming self-defense. The state is seeking the death penalty for both murders. So let's get started with this. Again, I will also, you know, give updates on other situations as they come. You know what I mean? We'll just take our time with it or whatever, and, you know, focus on other things as well. You already know, G-Dup. It's nothing but love. It's nothing but love. Hey, Tina. What is going on? All right, here we go with this trial. Tina, just to give you a rundown, this is MARKEITH Loyd's trial. He had killed his unborn child, which was inside of the stomach, obviously, of Sade Dixon. And, you know, the trial is it's done. They're in like the sentence or the penalty phase. He was convicted of their deaths. We're kind of a couple of days later, whatever, but I like that sometimes or whatever. But so this is the start of that. Hey, Tina. You didn't get a notification?
State recognized presence.
I guess YouTube is going through some things too, because I've seen other content creators. I think Chris Thorns had made a video talking about notifications weren't getting sent out, and maybe that's why they're dropping my live stream, even though that's not really a new thing on my channels. But I don't know.
The jury.
Right, he's wearing pink, like he really cares.
Welcome back, folks. Hope you all had a good evening. Ready to get started with the trial. State.
Let me fix the volume.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please, the court. Counsel. 6031 Long Peak Drive in Orlando is a two-story house. Standing in the roadway facing it, to the right is a driveway and a two-car garage. In the center is a doorway, windows on either side. In front of the front door, there's a small concrete pad porch with columns on each corner. And there's a concrete walkway that curves around from there to the driveway. On December 13th of 2016, there were 7 occupants at the house. There was Ron Daniels, who was the father, husband, Stephanie Dixon Daniels, her mother and wife, their 19-year-old son, Dominique Daniels, Miss Dixon Daniels' daughter from a prior marriage, Sade Dixon, and her son from a prior marriage, Ronald Stewart Jr. Also, Sade Dixon's 2 young children live there. In the weeks preceding December 13th, Sade had stayed at the house sometimes, and sometimes she stayed at the house of her boyfriend, the defendant in this case, MARKEITH Loyd. On the Saturday before the 16th, which was a Tuesday, Sade Dixon came back home and brought all of her belongings home with her and stayed at the house. On the 13th, Ron Daniels had gone to work and come back home. Miss Dixon Daniels had gone to work and come back home. Ronald Stewart was home working from a home office that sat just inside the front door with a window that looked out into the front yard.
Yeah, and it's also good. Let me show you guys as well, because sometimes this be the issue, okay? So when you subscribe or whatever, it should say all for this one, but when you subscribe to a channel, just to let you guys know, sometimes this be the issue too. You gotta hit all or personalized, or if you don't want no notifications, none. Sometimes it will just default into none, but make sure that you hit all notifications. I'm subscribed to this channel from several of my channels, so that's why I really didn't trip about getting notifications for here, because it goes off on other my other channels as well. But just to let you guys know, because sometimes that's the issue too. But if you're not getting notifications after doing that, what you can also do is just, you know, let's say I'm following this channel, I'm not getting notifications, right? Then what I would do is unsubscribe and then resubscribe and make sure that I hit all. And some, you know, that does fix it sometimes as well too. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It seems like they little, you know, their little things aren't working, you know what I mean, at all. Hey Ray, what is good, little bro? I see you up in here.
Sade Dixon was there along with the children.
We kind of just getting started. To give Ray a rundown, we're looking at the MARKEITH Loyd trial. This is one that I spoke about kind of in the last few live streams that I wanted to start. MARKEITH Loyd is on trial right now for the deaths of his unborn baby and his ex-girlfriend's life that he had took, and next year will be the attorney. What are you guys doing? The attorney, I mean, not the attorney, the police officer, Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, had lost her life. So that would be a separate trial, but they're seeking the death penalty in this trial. They did get a conviction. We're kind of days late or whatever, which again, that's what I like. So we're just listening to the opening statements. This is the prosecutor bringing the case. He's going to inform us of what happened that day and stuff like that. If you rewind this live stream, there's a little bit of backstory about MARKEITH. And the crazy thing is, MARKEITH isn't always good in the courtroom. So that's another reason why I wanted to kind of like see what was going on with this as well. It's only certain channel holders. I believe that. I believe that as well. Yeah, and then the Jody lady, she's trying to get a retrial or some shit. Queen Rachel had sent me that information, earlier today or sometime today. So I'm gonna have to look into that too, because that shit's crazy as hell. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we're gonna make time for all of it. Everything is gonna have its own section and everything like that. I do appreciate as well people letting me know about things that I didn't know about, like the cupcake situation. We will address that, trust me.
Dominique was off playing basketball with some friends. Sometime in the evening, there was a knock on the door, and Ron Stewart went and answered the door, and it was the defendant who asked for Sade. He got her, told her that the defendant was outside. She went outside with him. Sometime later, Dominique came home from playing basketball and walked through the yard, saw the two of them there, and he went into the house. At some point during this time, this evening, Sade Dixon came into the house, went up to her room, and out of her closet got a lockbox, used her key to open it, and took out a Smith & Wesson 9mm semi-automatic pistol that had been given to her as a gift. She took it downstairs and went back outside. Sometime after that, the defendant took the gun away from her. As they were outside and Ronald Stewart was sitting at his desk working, he heard a bang on the metal garage door. He thought at first that it was his dog, which sometimes was kept in the garage. So he got up, went through the house to the passageway door into the back of the garage, and looked in. And through some small windows along the carport door, the garage door, he saw his sister and the defendant. She was standing on one side of a car. He was standing on the other. He went back through the house and went out the front door. And when he got there, they were still in that position. He walked down the curved driveway to the sidewalk to the driveway. And after a brief exchange, said, y'all just need to stop. Y'all need to pick this up, take it up another day. At that point, he and Sade turned to go back into the house. Sade ran up to the door, but because the knob was set inside, the door was locked. Ronald came and joined her on the porch. The defendant, who had moved to the end of the driveway, then came up and stood just off of the concrete walkway in the yard. He reached into the hand warmer part of his jacket, fumbled, pulled out a Smith & Wesson .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol that he had brought with him. He said, "Nah, she ain't going away. She's not going with you." She cocked the gun. He pointed it, and he fired. The first round hit Ronald Stewart in the abdomen, and he fell to the ground there on the porch between the pillar and the house. The defendant then approached.
Which 5-year-old? Because I know yesterday we had touched base on Dulce Oliveira, something, yesterday or whatever, and she'd been missing for more than 2 weeks. But Patricia said, sorry, there's a 5-year-old that's been missing for 2 weeks now. I don't know about that situation. So if you want to give me some more information on it, definitely will.
The porch, firing.
Yeah, because if you're talking about Dulce, she's been missing for a little bit longer than that. We covered that last night. But, I'll continue to, look into not Cupcake, a different girl. Yeah, Dulce. I think you're talking about, that was the last live stream. We had covered both of them. There was 2 cases last live stream, 2 little girls missing.
He hit Sade Dixon several times. She fell down. He came up onto the porch, turned. Ronald Stewart was laying on his back. He walked over, stood over Ronald, shot him a couple more times, left. and just walked out to his car. Inside the house, Ms. Dixon Daniels and Dominique heard the shots and came running downstairs. And when they opened the door, there was the defendant running away toward his car. He turned, raised the gun, and pointed it at the door. Dominique grabbed his mother's arm, yanked her back inside, slammed the door, heard a couple more shots, then heard the car drive off. And he opened the door. Ms. Dixon Daniels started doing CPR on her daughter. Other family members started attending Ronald. The Sheriff's Department was called. They moved each of the two victims out into the grass to have better access to them.
Yeah, he is a monster. But Patricia, I guess there's a couple of other children that may be missing or whatever, but I was under the impression that they were found. But like I said, after this live stream or whatever, tomorrow I will be getting my research on. So there may be, a portion where I'm talking about Cupcake or any other child that, that stuff is going on or whatever. We'll be touching base on that.
Sade Dixon was pronounced dead on the scene.
Seems like a lot of stuff going on.
And she was 3 months pregnant at the time. Ronald Stewart was transported to the hospital where he spent a month, underwent multiple surgeries, but ultimately survived. The Sheriff's Office crime scene unit came to the house and this is what they found. This was the body of Sade Dixon, where she had been moved by other members of the Sheriff's Office so that they could better treat her. Right here was Sade Dixon's 9mm. Right here was the clothing that the paramedics had cut off Ronald Stewart to treat him better. Right here, probably read it better if I turn it right side up, right?
So I didn't know or hear anything about this Ronald Stewart person that he had also harmed in some type of way. So that's interesting.
Here.
But that's probably what the attempted murder was, because he was charged initially with first-degree murder of Sade Dixon, and then a first-degree murder of the unborn child, and an attempted first-degree murder of, and it's got to be probably that man. And then allegedly they tried to hit him with 2 other counts of felony murder. So this Ronald guy or whatever his name was had gotten shot or something in the event as well.
Here, there was a total of 11 .40 caliber casings that had been ejected from the firearm. Among that 11 were 2 found out in the street. The scene was processed, the evidence was collected, the investigation conducted. About a month later, on January the 9th, a lady named Takesha Bryant went to the Walmart on Princeton just off John Young. Objection, pretrial motion.
I don't know what's going on with the audio right there, but there was an objection. I hope they look at dude more. I want to see if he flip out during this trial.
Oh, God.
It's loading for you? That's weird. I don't think it's loading for anybody else.
Keisha Bryant went to the Walmart on Princeton just off John Young to buy a jacket for her daughter. It was a cold morning. She got there sometime before 7 o'clock. She went into this Walmart, found the jacket.
Playing fine for me. I don't know, maybe you want to go out and then come back in, Miss Meat.
Went up to aisle 2, the cashier to pay. But there was no cashier there. So she walked over to the service desk to tell them that they needed a cashier. So the cashier came with her and they walked back.
Damn, okay. So Leslie said you would see his face plenty. That's real. So I know that Leslie is a trial hunter as well. So salute. It looks like Lily Gal said he shot his girlfriend in the back while she kneeled over to help her brother. That's some dog ass shit. And this man knew that she was carrying his child.
Aisle 2. So Miss,
I love my trials too. It's just like with work and then running my YouTube channel, most of the trials I choose to like watch with y'all, you know what I mean? I wish it was more time in the day, man.
I could check out.
I feel like I say that every day.
Someone has come into the line behind her.
But before I started coming on YouTube, that's, you know, with my free time, that's what I did, is watch a lot of trials and stuff like that.
And she turned to explain to the person that she wasn't really cutting in line, she'd been there first. When she did, she recognized the person who was standing behind her, who was MARKEITH Loyd. She knew the defendant, although she had never met him personally. She knew of him because he was married to her cousin, and she had seen Facebook pictures and videos and recognized him. She was also aware that the police were looking for MARKEITH Loyd for the murder of Sade Dixon. Coincidentally, as they're there in the process of checking out, Orlando Police Sergeant Deborah Clayton, who was in the store buying some items, walked by on her way out of the store in uniform. Ms. Bryant recognized that this was a police officer. As soon as she finished purchasing her items, she went out the front door, saw where Sergeant Clayton was parked down at the end of the sidewalk, and ran down to where Sergeant Clayton was and told her, there's a man inside named MARKEITH. He's wanted for the shooting of his pregnant girlfriend. Sergeant Clayton walked back towards the entrance and arrived at the entrance about the time MARKEITH Loyd was walking out. She told MARKEITH Loyd to get on the ground.
Objection, pretrial motion.
Overruled. The defendant broke to the left and ran around a pillar that was standing there. Came out on the other side with a firearm. There was an exchange of gunfire between him and Sergeant Clayton. After the gunfire, the defendant ran across the parking lot, got in his car, and drove away. The police arrived and processed the scene in the driveway in front of the Walmart. They found 8 .40 caliber casings.
Damn, and them 40 caliber motherfucking getting hit with a 40 caliber, bro, that don't leave no little mark. You know what I mean? That's, you can blow a hole through some shit with that. 8 of them though.
A little over a week later, police located the defendant in a house on Westcott Lane.
Oh Lord, he take the stand. Oh, we pulling up then. Fuck that. Definitely we are. Cause I like when they get on the stand or whatever. I'm trying to see what he finna try to say. Now I've seen him in a couple of other court hearings or whatever about this situation, or you know what I mean, the death of the police officer or whatever. Hold on one second. But damn, bro, like, and during these cases when he's in there, sometimes he will like flip out, get to talking shit. I guess one time he had like cussed out a judge or something, pretty much. I mean, we seen the little clip that we had seen, he wasn't talking to her too right either or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You wish, salute, welcome to the royal family as well. This is a tragic, unnecessary story. Yes, it definitely is. Definitely is. Staff at a North Carolina Have the presence of dementia fight. What kind of? Okay.
Orlando. After surrounding the house, told him to come out. Opened the front door and he threw something out. Then he came out.
That's crazy.
And crawled away from the house. Police officers moved in, searched the house to make sure there was no one else there. And they found the item that had been thrown out.
Oh, what? He sings.
It was a .40 caliber.
He sings and cusses like a naughty Tweety bird. Oh, I'm trying to pull up. Yes. Okay. I knew that this was gonna be good. I think the trial next year about the police officer, I think that's gonna be explosive. But I can already tell you now, they're gonna find him guilty. You know what I mean? But I've been waiting for this trial. There's a lot of trials that I've been waiting on to or cases to see if they're gonna make it to trial or whatever, and this is one of them. So.
Smith & Wesson semi-automatic handgun. That gun was sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Crime Lab, where it was examined and compared to the 11 shell casings found in front of 6031 Long Peak Drive. They determined they all had been fired from that gun. The 8 shell casings that had been found in front of the Walmart were compared to that gun that was found on Lescott Lane. And the lab determined that that firearm that the defendant had thrown out fired all 8 of those shell casings. The evidence in this case is going to show you MARKEITH Loyd determined to kill Jade Dixon, that he did kill her and her unborn child, that he attempted to kill Ronald Stewart, attempted to kill Dominique Daniels, attempted to kill Stephanie Dixon Daniels, and that he's guilty of the charges against him. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ridgway. Mr. Lineman, your opening, please.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, now this is gonna be defense. Damn, it's not stopping and shit. This defense. So this is the people that's, for those that don't know, this is people that's riding with MARKEITH. Why I keep wanting to call him MARKEITH Loyd. And basically, we had kind of looked at some information where he was claiming that he was gonna represent himself. I knew he was not, but this is on the defense. So this is the opening. You know, and they kind of get to go or readdress. They get to readdress or whatever. I don't know how, much that's going to be. But if he says some shit where he's trying to, get his client off or whatever, understand that that's his job. You know what I mean? I say that now, but I'd normally be like, shut the hell up, You never know. Well, let's see what's going on. That's the defense right there.
My brother can whip your ass.
Okay.
Within a few minutes of that statement, her brother attacked MARKEITH Loyd.
Look how the stenographer lady's looking at him like, boy, you better get the fuck out of here.
A struggle ensued across the yard where the gun that he had taken from her a little bit ago fell from his pocket. And he fired, and he fired, and he fired. This is a tragic story that started as a love story. Not the perfect love story, but a love story. You see, MARKEITH met Jade on Facebook. And within a short period of time of meeting each other on Facebook, they met in person. They became friends and then lovers. MARKEITH was working at Texas Chicken. He had worked there for about a year and 3 months by the time he met her, delivering chicken. He was trying to make a new life for himself, trying to do something different than some of the things that had happened in the past. And when he met her and they clicked, within a very short period of time, she became pregnant. See, MARKEITH wanted a family.
I forgot to cue up the violin. You know what I'm saying? The violin music. Damn it.
Several older children, but he wasn't there for them. And with this new change in his life, he wanted a family with her. But as with every relationship, there were some issues. She liked to smoke pot. And when she became pregnant, that wasn't acceptable for him. She liked to eat meat.
Wait a minute. So he's tripping about her eating meat and smoking pot when she's pregnant, but he blew her motherfucking head off or shot her, whatever. Bro, you don't get to talk shit. You know what I'm saying about that situation. She probably shouldn't have been smoking, but I do know of some mothers that couldn't even eat if it wasn't for, smoking or whatever. And I know, and their kids is all right. And, they didn't smoke their whole pregnancy or whatever, but just for the beginning portion and shit like that. But how is he gonna trip about her smoking weed during her pregnancy and eating meat and shit, and he over here finna kill his baby?
And that wasn't acceptable for him either. Her family, especially her mother, who I'm sure you'll hear from, is sitting in the courtroom, lost a daughter, tragic event, didn't like him.
I feel you wish, real talk.
She thought that he was an old man and she was a young girl. Her mother was raising her 2 children and certainly didn't want, probably rightfully so, another one coming along that she may have to raise.
So we should salute MARKEITH for killing the unborn child, sir? Sir, with the milk dud head, sir.
And so she made it clear, and her father made it clear very early on.
So Joel said so he was happy that she was having this baby, but he killed both of them? Right, facts, real talk, crazy.
That they were not going to be responsible.
That too. I mean, they say that smoking cigarettes attributes to low birth weight or whatever. I'm not finna lie, bro. I was stressed the fuck out with my son, and I smoked my whole pregnancy cigarettes. I mean, I'm not glorifying it or whatever, but my son came out 9 pounds, 11 ounces. You see what I'm saying? And he was like a week early. If they would have left him up in there, he would have been like 10 pounds. You feel what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But shit, my son's dad was going to trial for murder and shit like that, and I've spoke about that or whatever. So, hell yeah, I was a little bit nervous and stressed the fuck out type of shit.
For that child, that it was MARKEITH's responsibility.
I feel you on that, Joyce.
He wasn't allowed in the house. And though he would come over on occasion, like Thanksgiving, and was part of the Thanksgiving festivities, he wasn't accepted. Mainly because the mom thought that the age difference was significant. Being that MARKEITH was close in age to her, the 40s, and her daughter, 23 or 24. Understandable, but it caused friction between them. That becomes important later on. Because you see, MARKEITH, as you will learn, had a heightened sense of paranoia, fear.
Hey, welfare office. Looks like you in the wrong chat room. I could point you out to a couple of welfare recipients on YouTube, but ain't none over here. And even if it was, why is you coming over here trolling, bro? Next time you comment some bullshit, your ass is getting blocked by yours truly.
He had been robbed on 2 occasions while working at Texas Chicken at gunpoint. The first time he didn't report it. The second time he was on the phone with Sade and she called it in, I believe, and there was a police report generated. And after the second occasion, what you'll hear is that he found out or became super concerned that those people who had robbed him, some young, I think he calls them jigs, were going to hurt him because they knew who he was. And so MARKEITH began carrying firearms, not 1, but 2. And he carried them wherever he went. And he worked a lot. He worked 8-10 hours a day.
8 to 10 hours a day, that's not a lot. I mean it could be a lot, but every day of the week, sir, like, this man didn't run around in the world like he cared about his life or his freedom. And that's why I don't really like to sit, like, I do like trials, but I don't always like to sit through, like, the defense, like, when it's when the prosecutors basically call their case, like, basically that they're done and that you know, it can go to the defense's side so they can call up their witnesses or whatever. I don't always like to listen to that because it's listening to somebody. I don't know, again, how. Again, I went to law school, right? But I ain't graduate. I ain't finna lie. But I couldn't be this dude and represent a man that had killed a woman that was pregnant and her unborn child that was his, bro. Or even if it wasn't his. You know what I mean? Like, that's just trash. Like, how do you wake up every day and get up here and try to justify the wrongdoing of somebody that's trash? This man is trash.
At a house that he had rented where Sade was staying with him, and he rented out.
Did he say jigs? He said jigs. Let me rewind it a little bit.
But it caused friction between them. That becomes important later on. Because you see, MARKEITH, as you will learn, had a heightened sense of paranoia, fear. He had been robbed on 2 occasions while working at Texas Chicken at gunpoint. The first time he didn't report it. The second time he was on the phone with Sade and she called it in, I believe, and there was a police report generated. And after
maybe jigs is a chicken joint.
The second occasion, what you'll hear is that he found out or became super concerned that those people who had robbed him, some young, I think he calls them jigs, were going to...
Oh, wow. He said some young, I think he called them jigs. Unless he meant jits. Because jits, you know, down in Florida and shit like that, or down south, I know that... like, my ex-husband was from Memphis, Tennessee, and they call, like, younger people or whatever, they call them jits. So he'd be like, look at that little jit over there acting crazy with his mama or whatever. Or look at that little jit right there, you know what I'm saying, skipping school type of shit or whatever. this is the younger niggas on the block even, you know what I mean? They call them jits. But he said jigs, but he said, I think they call them jigs. That might have been what he...
And she called it in, I believe.
Watch how you say it.
And there was a police report generated. And after the second occasion, what you'll hear is that he found out or became super concerned that those people who had robbed him, some young, I think he calls them jigs.
Yeah, and the context that he used. I'm glad that you said that though, cause you know what I mean? Shit, let's iron everything out while we hear shit, because you know how he said it, some young dudes had robbed him, and he said, I think he calls them jigs. He meant to say jits, you know what I mean? But, you know, learning experience for those that don't know. So I've used the word jits before in even my live streams or whatever. And, you know, so that just kind of breaks it down. Jit is a younger person or whatever than you. Normally, like young and dumb, the type that they would say hasn't jumped off the porch yet, like, or lived their life, never really... You know what I mean? They still on the breast milk type of shit. They still up under mama titty or whatever. That type of shit. You know what I mean? Jits. Jits.
We're going to hurt him because they knew who he was.
Thank you, you wish.
And so MARKEITH began carrying firearms. Not one.
Thank you, Joe. Shit.
Two. And he carried them wherever he went. And he worked a lot. He worked 8-10 hours a day. He had a house that he had rented where Sade was staying with him. And he rented out some of the rooms in the house to other people that he knew. And so during this period leading up to December 13th, him and Sade had dated during that period of time. She had...
Wow. Jigs. That's probably why he remembered it. But jit down south it's jit, like a little nigga and shit. But jigaboo, maybe that's why he remembered it type of shit. Or maybe that is how, I mean, shit, good observation or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know, speaking up on what I know, but... You know, it could be jigaboo too. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to lie. When you wish had said, did he say jigs or whatever she had said? I was like, first thing that came to my mind was like jigaboo, some shit like that. But I'm like, wait a minute, dude, black. So them kids, they was about black. I don't know. We don't even know for real. They could have been a whole different race. But I don't know. I think that's why he remembered it like that, like jigs. Bugaboo could be a word for it too or not. For what? I don't really use the word bugaboo.
Lived with him during that period of time, on and off, but mostly.
But maybe Dr. Bombay is right. Maybe it's jigaboo shit. But I know I was just saying, as far as the jit part. But that's a good observation. Salute. That's why I like doing this with y'all. You know, put our heads together and see the things that most people maybe missed or whatever, and just look into these cases that are fucked up. You know, ultimately, this little baby lost his life and didn't do shit. And we're supposed to believe that the father cared about what the mother was putting in her body. You know what I'm saying? And he took the baby's life ultimately. Like, that shit's just trash.
Her children remained with her mother, who was primary caretaker for those children.
Okay, I feel you wish.
And
could be, makes sense.
You will hear that MARKEITH tried to help her out. And during that period of time, you will hear that she went to real estate school. But there was jealousy amongst the two.
Oh, yuck. What? Lily Gal said, Queen, I'm cringing and dying laughing. Jits over here means semen. Hell nah. That's crazy. Thank you, Lily Gal. That's nuts.
Now,
I will remember that
when
always,
the police
I promise.
ultimately get the phone of Sade Dixon, an individual by the name of Mr. Montgomery, who's a telephone expert from the Sheriff's Department, takes that phone and downloads that information in a program. And you will either hear from him or from my expert, John Sawicki, who's also a phone expert, who downloaded that information. Now, MARKEITH Loyd.
Hold on, I'm talking to shit. I thought they stopped our shit or whatever, because those that are new, you wish, I just want to let you know that sometimes when we be live, they'll just cut off like our stream. Like, we're still streaming, but like we have no playback for any clips. So I'll have to, like, when that happens, I have to like exit out, end the live, and then come back right away with another live or whatever, just in case. And sometimes when you join the live, in the beginning, they will drop all people in the live, and then you have to come back. Like, it looks like I ended my live, but I really didn't. I don't know what that is about either, but just to let you know, since you are the new royalty here. So, yeah, but that's not what happened, so let's get back into it.
Was not an angel.
Looks like it was in the video.
MARKEITH Loyd loved women. And so Sade certainly had a right to be concerned.
And if I'm not mistaken, MARKEITH had another woman too, and that's why I really think he killed her or whatever. I don't know if I believe the whole little story about, you know, what this dude was talking about, how he trying to lead up to it or whatever, because allegedly he had killed that girl because he was with another girl and he didn't want her to find out and shit. And old girl, Sade, wouldn't get an abortion. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
To be faithful. But there were times that she thought otherwise. And so during this period of time while they're living together, he is working, she goes to school, they occasionally go over to the family's house. Things seem to be going okay. But there came a time right before she moved out that there was an incident where she had picked up her 2 children and they had gone to a lake together to spend time with the children. And you will hear she was very distracted. She wanted to be somewhere else. And that caused a problem between them.
Right. Jigaboo is a racist term, but, you know, that's why I think that maybe it wasn't that what MARKEITH was trying to call them, because unless he's racist or whatever, I don't know. That shit's crazy, but MARKEITH is black.
And what you will find out is what she wanted to be doing was smoking pot with her friend. And MARKEITH was upset about that. And a fight ensued between them when they got home. And basically, he said, listen, you know, if you can't, you know, do what we're supposed to do together, you need to move back home. And she moved back home. He packed her bags, put them in his car, and took her back to her mom's house. And this was just a little while before this incident. And so this is what we would call the escalation point of this story. So what happens is that MARKEITH had given her at some point his passwords to his Facebook. And while after this event occurred, when she moved back home, she went on his Facebook. And MARKEITH was an avid Facebooker. When I say avid, the police, when they executed search warrants obtained 33,000 pages of Facebook communication over a period of several years. And so when she went on to Facebook, she saw what she suspected, that he was communicating with an ex-girlfriend. And she was livid. She was angry. And there were texts that took place between them from the time that she moved home all the way up to the time when this event occurred a few days later. Now, this is important because the prosecution has...
Yeah, but we don't know if that's what he was saying. This dude, you know, he ain't really hood, like, you know, he don't know, like, Ebonics and all that, or, you know, slang or whatever and all that. He said he believes that he called them jigs. And maybe it's something, you know what I'm saying, to Florida shit. I don't know. But I don't know. The shit is weird. So I don't know. I'm over that part. I don't really care because MARKEITH is black. So them kids that robbed him, right, we could only assume that they was black too.
Those texts. And I'm sure you'll see them, or some of them. And what they don't show you, I'm going to show you. Because before this escalation took place, there was communication between him and her while they were in a good place, where he was saying to her...
In all reality, I didn't hear the prosecutor bring up the girlfriend. I wouldn't have bring her up either. If I was him, that was the dumbest thing he could have said, in my eyes so far. You know, he's only been up here for 10 minutes or so, but that didn't even need to be known, because if he had killed, you know, and if this all goes back to an abortion, that he was mad because Sade Dixon would not get an abortion, then, you know, that just makes it even worse. Because all this dude sitting up here talking about he was mad about her eating meat and smoking weed or whatever the fuck, then that kind of just throws all that out the window, because this man wanted the baby aborted anyway, and now he allegedly cares about the baby. I'm lost.
Listen, as soon as you get done...
No, that's what it means. It means that, but I'm just saying, this man right here said, I believe that MARKEITH calls them jigs, and in reality, I said that I think he's calling them jits, and then other people had said the thing about the jigaboo could be a thing or whatever, so I don't really give a fuck at this point. I'm more worried about the case in this situation, but I don't know, so we don't know. Maybe that will come up later. Maybe he'll clarify that, because he is going to hit the stand or whatever in this case. So, I mean, I'm over it. I'm over the jigaboo or jit part. You know what I mean?
Having this baby,
but y'all can continue. Do what you do.
Have another one. And she was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And he's like, come on. And this is going back and forth between them two. He wanted a family. And although he loved Sade Dixon, even after they broke up, his thought was he wanted that baby. He wanted that baby. It was important to him.
Bro, with the other girlfriend or whatever, I don't even know if she testified or whatever, but the other girlfriend wasn't going for this nigga just showing up with a child, bro. That was not the thing, like, in reality. From what I... you know what I'm saying, remember or whatever, it had something to do with, because this girl would not get an abortion, and because he had a girlfriend that he was more serious with. This Sade chick, he was playing on her, he was, you know what I'm saying, fucking on her, but with a whole nother chick for real. You see what I'm saying?
Have that baby.
Bashing the victim. Facts.
And so when this communication started, and she was texting him, she was going online to his Facebook and taking pictures of this Facebook communication he was having with other women, including the fact that he was at a strip club.
Okay, that was her baby mama. Like, you act like she ain't got emotions, fat boy. She ain't got emotions. She pregnant. This man probably, if he killed her, bro, he probably threatened her life before he actually took her life. You see what I'm saying? He was probably whooping her ass or threatening to whoop her ass, all type of shit, bro. Fuck out of here. Cause she was, and she was trying to point out that he was at a strip club and all this about the little messages and shit. I could care less, bro. Like, reality. He's making, to me, in my opinion, he's making his client look stupider and stupider by the minute.
She was texting that to him. And she wasn't saying nice things. She was saying, you're never going to see this baby. She was using that baby to try to hold on.
So that's justification. I mean, I don't ride with that shit. If you lay down, you make a baby with a dude or whatever, long as he ain't, well, I can understand her not allowing or saying that she's not finna allow him to see this baby, whether it was vindictive or not, because this dude turned out to be crazy as hell, went on a killing spree, killed the baby and everything. So ain't no telling how he would have acted in real life. But 9 times out of 10 with your average type of situation or whatever, if two people lay down and make a child, don't involve that child in y'all petty ass bullshit. Y'all better grin and bear that shit. If you know, and I'm saying that because, but in a way, like, actually, in reality, like, if you had your baby daddy around or whatever, if you're a female and you had your baby daddy around and he crazy as hell, he abusing you, he threatening you and doing all type of shit, trying to kill the cat, and fucking, you know, you don't trust him around kids, or is a pedophile, or he's abusive to children only type of shit, because you never know what these motherfuckers, then no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's definitely a case-by-case situation, and if he was distributed that type of craziness, I don't blame her for not wanting the baby around. Look what he did to her and the baby. You know what I mean? Like, that's trash.
On to MARKEITH Loyd.
Some of these motherfuckers that kill your goddamn guinea pig and shit, and your motherfucking cat, your dog, rip the guy. I mean, I've seen boyfriends do some crazy ass shit to girlfriends, not necessarily to them, but to people around them. Like, I've seen people, like, tear up parents' vehicles. Like, bitch, her vehicle was right there. I'm not saying do that shit, but why, like, just sucker ass bitch nigga shit? You know what I mean? But I don't ride with the woman that's like, oh, I can't get exactly what I want out of this relationship or whatever, and I'm pregnant with your baby, so I'm just gonna fuck up your life. I mean, we're like, in that situation, I'm talking about good men or whatever, right? And even if they're not a good boyfriend, they're still a good man, or would make a good father. You know what I mean? The type of man that never abused you, that type of shit, that's foul. I don't agree with that shit, and I will cuss a bitch out in a hot minute, because hell nah. Bro, that's not cool. I don't like people playing with kids or whatever like that. You should never do that. Now, if you and this dude hate each other's guts and y'all can't even be in the room or whatever, maybe you need a mediator. You need somebody, you know, in the family or whatever that you guys both get along with, a friend or something to play the in-between, then do that shit. But I just don't think that it's cool to do that. But I see why in this situation she may have said, you're not finna see your child, because we're only getting one portion of it. He's going to tell you, you know, about these statements that she made, but not what dude had said to her to get this response. You feel what I'm saying? No.
They have all that.
This dude is crazy.
The lead detective, Savelli, outlines in his 26-page report all that I'm telling you about these texts. They have that evidence.
Oh, okay. Okay, a jig. Okay. Right. Okay, Coco. Okay. See, I like the observations. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't never pretend to know it all. But Coco said a jig is also a junkie or a pill popper. Okay.
But you're going to hear also that there was a failure, a distinct failure by the Orange County Sheriff's Department in this investigation.
No, so your client is a failure. He failed his own child. Like, to the ultimately, like, his child never even got to, like, experience a breath or do anything outside of the womb. And that's just like fucked up, bro. Like, one thing you should never fuck with is babies and pregnant women, bro. Elderly shit like that, like, they're off limits, bro. Just leave them alone. He could have just moved on with his life. He could have, you know what I'm saying, been like, babe, he should have been just real as hell. Like, babe, I was fucking around, got this girl pregnant. She ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, get rid of the baby. That's what a real motherfucker would have did or whatever. Or a real motherfucker would have went in this situation like, you know what I'm saying, this what it is, I got another girl, and told even the other girl about the other girl or something like that. You know what I mean? But these type of situations unfold when you have people that are joining relationships or quote unquote relationships, right? When it's really just a fling. And then, you know, feelings get involved, time passes, shit happens, people get pregnant or whatever, and then emotions get to flaring and shit, like, shit can hit the fan, bro. That's why any situation that you put yourself into, like, as far as a relationship, you might as well just be 100 in the door. Like, shit, I ain't for that relationship shit, or I am, or I got a man on the side, but come on, and I'm never advocating for that either. But I'm just saying, the shit is crazy. That's why being 100 is better than nothing.
So she's texting him with these pictures, and he's denying it. That's what he's doing.
He choked her before? Wow. And it's a big dude. Like, he looks pretty strong. I mean, he ain't like Shaq big or nothing like that, but he's a pretty big dude.
He's denying it. He's like, nah.
Yeah, I looked into that.
Nothing's happening. It's not true. None of this is going on. That wasn't the complete truth. Because in his mind, his relationship ended and he had sex with an ex-girlfriend. And she knew it. And he kind of knew that she knew, but he didn't want this to escalate into a situation that was going to. And MARKEITH's only concern at this point, he wants to diffuse the situation at first. He wants not to be an issue with this child. And so at some point he realizes he's got to be honest. Because in his mind, he's no longer in a relationship with her. Even though it's a few days or whatever, he's not in a relationship with her. So he tells her, "You're right. I had sex with my ex-girlfriend. You're right." And she says, "Wait here." What's going through her mind?
Look how this man trying to blame the victim for getting her fucking, you know what I'm saying, shit just blown like that by this crazy ass, psychotic ass man. It's all her fault and all this and that. I know he ain't finna say, she said, wait right there, and then she went and got a gun and was finna kill his ass and all this. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Anger, helplessness. This man who she loved, in her mind, betrayed her.
When that's not even what the fuck it was, bro. In reality, no disrespect to this deceased lady, Sade Dixon, but Sade Dixon was the side chick, bro. You feel what I'm saying? This baby was unexpected, and that's what I'm trying to say. But he's saying that she told her, he told her that he had slept with his ex-girlfriend. Nah, fam, that may have been what he said to her or whatever, but that's not what it was. The ex-girlfriend or whatever was actually his girlfriend that was before her, and they was still together type of shit. He was playing her. He was trying to be a little player.
So she does something really, really stupid. Wait here. Up the stairs to her room where there's a box. She opens the locked box and takes a gun. A gun that she probably didn't know how to use. Because as you heard, when the gun is found, the cartridge is not even in it. She takes that gun and walks down the stairs and out the front door of the unlocked door. By this time, she has it tucked in her pants. And she says to MARKEITH, "Over here," pointing to the side of the house. And she walks to the side of the house. And MARKEITH follows. And while she's at the side of the house, she has this gun. And he sees the gun. And when he sees the gun, he pulls his two guns out. He had one back here, I believe, one under his arm. He pulls the two guns out. And he's pointing at her. And he's saying, "What? You're going to shoot me? Are you going to shoot me? Are you kidding? Drop the gun. Drop the gun." And she's fuming. She's angry. She's not thinking straight. Rightfully so? Maybe.
It's all her fault. He's not going to talk about the time where one of the royal family members, Lily Gal, had pointed out that he had choked her before. He ain't going to point out that. It's all her, and she's crazy, and she's a lunatic, and all this and that. And if she was, motherfucker, she was pregnant, though. And I don't believe that she was really a lunatic or whatever. In reality, shit, I think that clearly he wants us, he wants to try to have the jury believe, not even us, because fuck that, but he wants the jury to believe that, he had to do what he had to do, because this was just crazy as hell. This dude is crazy.
So she takes the gun, and MARKEITH already...
Right, and he bringing up the fact of her one gun that was already like disassembled, didn't even have like the bullets in it or nothing, and this man has two guns on him. Why would he be worried about her one gun that she probably don't even know how to shoot for real?
With this heightened sense,
if there was even another gun, period.
Having been robbed, and his life experiences, which we'll talk about a little later.
His life experiences, oh, I can't wait.
She pulls out the gun, and instead of pointing it at him, she pulls it out and goes like this and then drops it. And he squeezes the trigger. Because he believes when she's doing that at that moment, she's going to kill him. But the gun that he squeezes does not discharge. Takes a certain amount of pressure, does not discharge. And when she drops the gun, he grabs the gun from the ground.
This nigga look like a creature now, bro. He grew the hell out of his dreads, but besides that, bro, they ain't even give him no glass eye. It just looked like you could see his eyeball and shit up in there, like the lack of an eyeball. I ain't making fun of people with one eye, but fuck this nigga and his non-having a one eye, because he deserved to lose his shit and all that. And all whatever they did to him, he's trash. And not just because of the cop. I think he deserved that shit because of killing this little baby. Like, first and foremost, I don't give a fuck how they want to paint the mother. The mother wasn't shit. She was out here acting crazy and all this and that. The one person that didn't deserve that shit is that unborn baby. That was his DNA. That's fucked up. And ultimately, he wanted an abortion, and he made sure that baby was aborted.
And he puts it in his back pocket. And she leaves and runs around to the garage area, and there's a garbage can right in front of the garage, and she probably hits the garbage can that hits the garage, and that's what alerts her older brother, who's sitting in his room right next to the garage, that he hears a thump. Now, her older brother, you will hear, he's an engineer. He sometimes stays with his mom. He's a smart kid. He's a loving brother. He's a brother that would do anything to protect the life of his sister and family. That's who Ron is. And so when Ron hears this information, he knew that there was kind of friction going on between the two outside. But when he hears this alerts him, and he's like, did you hear this to anybody? And no one really hears anything, because it's hard to hear things from inside the house. And so he thinks that maybe it was his dog. He goes and opens the garage. And as he's looking outside the garage, he sees through the window what appears to be MARKEITH and Sade. And he decides he's going to go out there and try to defuse this, because he's concerned now. His level went from normal to sitting in there listening, kind of knowing that there was an argument going on. I think he talked to his brother a little bit. And now he hears this, and he decides he's going to go out. So he puts his shoes on, and he walks out the unlocked front door. So now it's him, and it's Sade, and it's MARKEITH out in the front. And what you will hear is that when he went outside, they were kind of quiet. They got kind of quiet. And he's like, what's up, you guys? You need to take this somewhere else? He's trying to de-escalate. You need to take this somewhere else? You need to, like...
I love the way that this man right here is trying to make the defendant claim, like, make him look like he's just this great guy that was just misunderstood and all that. That's why I said I can't wait to hear about his life experiences, because he can't wait for it either, the attorney right here, because that's where they're going to put a lot of the blame and shit, and they're going to try to, I'm already knowing, without even seeing it, I'm already knowing that that's when they're going to try to shape it and try to mold it, that this man just did this because of happenstance and shit, how he grew up and this and that happened to him and whatever. And I hate when attorneys try to do that, like pity their defendant and shit, when this motherfucker did all type of crazy ass shit. You know what I mean?
Calm down.
All right, Lily Gal.
Is doing his best to de-escalate. And MARKEITH decides that he's going to explain himself to the brother for whatever reason. And he says to her, listen, me and your sister are at odds. She's eating meat. She's smoking pot. She's pregnant with my baby. And I think she's fucking other guy.
Bruh, hold up. You want us to give a fuck about her fucking an alleged other guy, but he was fucking an alleged other chick. And see how you try to throw that in there? I don't believe that either. You know what I'm saying? I think this man is trash for lying on this victim, this woman that cannot even, take up for herself or whatever. Like, this dude, I hope this victim, Sade Dixon, haunts the fuck out of this man, bro. He talked about her so bad, and this shit made her just seem like she ain't shit. It's all her fault, and his client is the shit, and he's a great man and all that.
Brother hears this, and he's like, oh, whoa.
Coco.
And this makes...
This dude right here look like a creature, bro. He look like a scary creature for Halloween type of shit.
Sade angry. Because now he's telling her brother, who she loves, has respect for, her business. And you will hear that she's a pretty quiet, secretive girl. She doesn't share much with her mom. She keeps it to herself. She doesn't bring people in on her relationships. And you will hear that her response was to him, "Why don't you tell him about the guns you just held to my head?" So they're standing close to each other. Markeith standing to one side. Sade's standing almost across from him, close to there, and the brother's standing next to him, within a couple of feet. So now the brother knows he's armed and has not one weapon, but two weapons in his possession. And so the brother again is trying to defuse the situation. Stop. You guys, come on. Let's go. But he's thinking, oh no. What am I going to do? He's got two guns. And he's got his hand concealed and appears to be holding one of those guns. What am I going to do? And Markeith's telling the brother, listen, it's all good. Don't worry about anything. Don't worry about it. We're good. Don't worry about it. And so at some point, there's an exchange, and she continues to fume. The door's open. She could have went back inside, but this wasn't about her being afraid of him. This is about her being angry at him. She hated him at that moment. And so she turned up the flames one more level on her brother when she says, my brother can whip your ass. So now Markeith had earlier been pointed a gun by her. Now she's threatening him with her own brother. And to make matters worse, Ron's in a situation where he sees this going out of control. And so what happens? He does what either is completely logical or completely illogical. He goes after Markeith. He tries to take him. And there is a struggle. He has the gun, and they are struggling across the front yard. And at some point, the gun discharges and hits the brother.
No, I'm saying that's what they do. They put a thing on the ankle or whatever, so that if they try to run out or fight somebody or get unruly or something, they can just shock you, and the jury wouldn't have to see the shocking, but of course they would respond to it, and that shit hurts. You know, it's just like a taser, but without the prongs or whatever. And it's just like a bracelet that you wear on your ankle. But he could definitely be, because I believe Patricia or somebody had said that it looks like he's drugged up in the courtroom. He definitely does appear to be, compared to the other times that he was at court, or he already know what's going on and shit.
Markeith doesn't know exactly where Sade is.
Man, because I know he don't think that he was just finna walk away from this shit like it was nothing. Queen live my essence. This motherfucker is fucking up my aura, real shit.
He knows that he lost the gun, and he starts shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. After the shots, he goes to leave. And as he's leaving, he reaches his car, and he sees the front door come open. And he believes, he knows that they have guns inside that house. And you will hear there was at least a shotgun in addition to this handgun inside the house. And he fires 2 shots at the house and leaves. And what you will see, what the evidence shows, is that Sade and Ronald ended up on one side of the door, because you will see a pool of blood along that, and no blood on the other side of the door, and blood in the sidewalk. And you will hear that there is complete havoc that goes on. That when the mother and the other brother and the father go outside, they're trying to save her life and trying to help her son. And they're doing everything they can, and it happens fast, happens quickly. And at some point, the bodies are moved. At least 2 occasions the body are moved. One, to the front area where the door is, and secondly, out to the yard, where life-saving measures were attempted on her by Officer Ward, I believe was the first responding officer. And Ron's still conscious, but he had been shot multiple times as well. And the police are called, and the police come. There is a 9mm lying in the middle of the yard with its, whatever it is that you put the bullets in, they go in, not completely in, but one in the chamber. And that's in the yard. And so when the police arrive, they rush Ronald to the hospital, and you will hear from Ronald, and you will hear his version of what he claims happened. He denies that he ever attacked MARKEITH. He claims that MARKEITH just started shooting. And we'll talk about that in detail, why you're going to need to have concerns about what he says through common sense and some of the events that transpired with the police. And so they rush him to the hospital, and within a very short period of time, Detective Savelli is on the scene. He's the lead homicide detective. And he sees the 9mm, and he deduces within a very short period of time that it wasn't Mr. Loyd. I mean, they identify MARKEITH Loyd right away. They know him by name. They have a description of his car. This is not a who's done it. They know MARKEITH Loyd was involved in this.
Yeah, this is one death sentence that I would watch. Remember how I was like condemning the newsman in the last one? Like, nigga, you pulled up for that shit? Like, remember? I forgot. Maybe I forgot even what channel that was, but I would pull up for that. I would sit there and everything. I would enjoy watching this man suffer, bro. I could not even imagine, bro, like killing an unborn like fetus, like a unborn baby, bro, and then it be yours too. Like, it's enough to kill the woman. And I'm not trying to minimize the death of, you know, the pregnant mother or whatever, obviously, or the police officer and shit, you know what I mean? She was just trying to do her job and apprehend the suspect in the situation with Deborah Clayton or whatever. That's part 2 of the trial, and that takes place next year, whatever. But this first portion is just solely about Sade and the unborn baby. But I'm not trying to minimize. Don't get it fucked up, y'all. I ain't trying to minimize, you know what I mean, Sade, you know, or even the lieutenant. I'm just saying, like, my main thing, bro, what really got my attention is the unborn baby situation. Then I had also forgot, I wasn't sure, I don't think, if I knew that it was his baby, but that was just a fucking cherry on top. Like, now, oh, devour this nigga now, you know what I mean, because he's trash.
And the question that they have is what happened. And so what you will hear is that as they start the investigation, within a short period of time, Savelli's interviewing Sade's mother, and she admits that she owns a gun and says it's kept in a lockbox and says it's upstairs and takes him upstairs and the lockbox is open. The gun is not there. The gun is on the middle of the yard. And you will hear that a police officer is dispatched to interview Ron within a very short period of time after he's being shot, while he's being treated. Now you can imagine Ron is in pretty bad shape now, but he's conscious. And he has the ability to answer some questions. And they ask him, "Sir, do you know who shot you?" And he said,
yeah, this dude is an asshole in real life. This attorney right here, he's an asshole in real life. He probably really feels this way and everything. Like, he's not just doing a job right now. Like, this is what he really feels like. And he doesn't look like he even, dude could be racist for all we know, for real. He just trying to get that bag.
"MARKEITH, my sister's boyfriend."
And I feel it, though. I get it, right? You want to, as an attorney, shit, you got a lot of motherfucking schooling to pay for or whatever type of shit. So you better get that bag. But you got to have some morals, bro. You got to have some morals. And I also want to know, is this a public defender or nah? Like, did he really hire him?
"You know what kind of car?" "No." "Can you tell me why he shot your sister?" And he says, "I can't talk about it right now. I don't feel good." The conversation's about 2 minutes. And then at some point, I imagine the family came and talked to him. And then Detective Savelli, as he starts to unfold the investigation, makes an absolute determination that this gun had nothing to do with anything. In his probable cause affidavit, doesn't even bring up the gun in the yard. You can imagine Detective Savelli. Look at the havoc that's taking place in this poor family. These are law-abiding citizens. These are people that are victims of a disgruntled boyfriend or whatever conclusion the sheriff's department makes, because when they release the press release on this, they make it sound like MARKEITH showed up, banged on the door, and shot the girlfriend.
Yeah, we gonna skip through this. We don't want to hear this nigga no more. We gonna go over here where it starts at. Cause I mean, period, point blank. Dude sitting up here talking forever and ever and ever and ever. And the state only went on for like 5-10 minutes, bro. He petty as hell for that shit. So let's see what goes on. I don't know if I was just on mute or whatever. My bad if I was. But it's the first day. Let's see. Somebody about to get called up. Look like a woman. All right, let's see what's going on. This might be the mama of the victim. But I don't know. Let's see. Well, where the audio at, motherfucker?
These sounds
Okay.
are from the testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and then but the truth so help you God.
Have a seat, ma'am. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. McCarty, you're probably going to need to pull that mic up. There you go. Would you tell us your name and spell your last name for the court reporter, please?
Andra McCarty, MCCARTY.
Ms. McCarty, where do you live?
I live at 6036 Long Peak Drive.
And where is that in relation to 6031 Long Peak Drive?
Right across the street.
How long have you lived at that address?
8 years.
Ms. McCarty, I'd like to draw your attention back to the late evening of December 13th of 2016 and ask you if something unusual happened that night.
Yes, it did.
What was the first thing that happened that was different or unusual?
We heard gunshots.
Do you remember how many gunshots you heard?
I believe it's 4.
Okay. Did you hear anything else after you heard the gunshots?
I didn't hear nothing else until I opened the door.
All right. So what did you do after hearing the gunshots?
I went around my house because my son usually walks around the neighborhood, and I was checking around the house, see if he was in the house. When I went outside, that's when I heard screaming.
Did you tell where the screaming was coming from?
Yes, sir. It's right across the street.
Did you see anything at the house across the street from where you were?
From my door, I heard Sade's mother screaming, and I seen 2 bodies on the ground. Well, actually, at first I seen 1 body on the ground.
Okay. Now, when you say on the ground, can you describe a little more detail where it was?
It was across the street. It was in front of the door, on the left-hand side.
Okay. So what did you see after you saw the 1 body?
I ran across the street to help her out to see what was going on, and me and my husband both ran across the street to help out.
And what did you see when you got across the street?
When I got across the street, I seen a body on the right-hand side, and I also seen another body a body on the left-hand side, and I seen a body on the right-hand side.
Do you know Ms. Dixon Daniels who lived at the house?
Yes.
Did you see her?
Yeah, she was at the door, screaming.
And what was she screaming?
She was
I
screaming.
don't think she was related to anybody, but she was there. That's what I'm excited to see. Not excited, but you know what I'm saying, looking forward to seeing or whatever, is the people that come up to testify. 9 times out of 10, I'm trying to see if they gonna bring the other girlfriend up. Shit, all that. I'm trying to see all of that.
Oh my God, I shot my baby.
And
shot my
him,
baby.
he testifies in this shit, boy. Cause you know, the last couple of times it seemed like we ain't really get, you know, the person didn't decide to testify or whatever. We was gonna do the Adam Matos trial and he testified in that one, but the 2 trials that we have right now on this channel, we don't have no testimony or whatever. I don't think. Yeah, we don't have no testimony. So, you know, shit, that's something to look forward to. I'm excited, y'all.
And she kept screaming. Then she
wanna
was
see his ass fry like some motherfucking bacon and eggs and shit.
screaming a name out, his name, and she said, he shot my baby. He shot my child or something like that. And then I just got the phone and started calling 911. And
after you called 911, were you there when the police arrived?
Yes, sir. We stood there. Me and my husband was out there helping. My husband was doing CPR, and we stood there till the police arrived.
Did you see anyone else other than the Miss Dixon Daniels and the 2 people on the ground in the area?
No, sir.
Did you see anyone leaving the area?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I have another question.
Cross.
Morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning, fine, and you?
So when you first heard the shots, your first focus was your child, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were inside the house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where in the house were you?
I was inside in my bedroom.
Okay, and where was the child?
My child?
Yeah.
Was outside walking around.
Okay. And so did you go out the front door?
Yes, sir.
And did you look for your child right away?
We started calling on the phone. That's why I had the phone on me when I went outside.
Okay. So you started calling before you went outside?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who were you calling?
We were calling for my son.
Okay. And where was your son? Where did he end up being?
Around the corner outside walking.
Okay.
He didn't come up to
From the time you heard the shots till the time you were calling till the time you're actually outside looking over there, several minutes had passed.
Actually, I ain't gonna say minutes, it's kind of seconds, because we ran outside and I was still in the front yard. We was trying to call him, and then my focus was on her once I heard her screaming. And I walked and ran across the street.
Your initial focus was on your son?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Initial.
And when you looked over there, you saw her, she was outside?
Yes, sir.
All right, nothing further, thank you.
Redirect. May this witness be excused. State.
Ma'am.
Defense.
Yes.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. Call your next witness.
Rachel Ward.
Ma'am, please step in the box. Raise your right hand in case they put it.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You have a seat, ma'am.
May I inquire?
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you tell us your name, please? Spell your last name for the court report.
Rachel Magura, Magura.
And have you gotten married within the last 2 years?
Yes.
And did you change your name?
Yes.
And what was your name before you got married?
Ward, W-A-R-D.
Are you employed, ma'am?
Yes.
How are you employed?
With the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
And what capacity are you with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
I'm a deputy sheriff.
Were you employed as a deputy sheriff on December the 13th, 2016?
Yes.
Were you on duty at about 9 o'clock that night?
Yes.
Did you have an occasion to go to 6031?
I thought she had some nursing scrubs on until I seen the button right here. Like, what the hell is going on?
Long Peak Drive.
Yes.
Can you tell us what county and state that's located in?
Orange County, Florida.
Yeah, she looked like in her eyes, like she, looking towards this man or whatever, like she hate dude, like you killed one of my people and shit. These is gang members still, so Oh shit, babe brought me something to eat. All right. Thank you, boo. All right, let's get back into it.
When you arrived, were there other deputies there, or were you among the first to arrive?
I was among the first to arrive.
Would you describe the scene that you saw when you got out of your car when you first got here?
There was a house on the property, and I observed two individuals lying on the porch that appeared to have been injured.
So what did you do?
I went up to the female victim, one of the first things, and saw that she had been injured and tried to provide care for her.
Was there anyone else there providing care for her when you arrived?
There were family members around.
Okay. In the process of providing care, did you move the female victim?
Yes.
And where did you move her to?
We pulled her to the side on the yard out of the doorway.
When you arrived, or at any time after you arrived, did you see a firearm anywhere around the porch?
I did not.
Did you see a firearm anywhere within the possession of the female victim that you helped move?
No.
Now, on that day, were you wearing a body camera?
Yes.
Would you describe for the jury where the body camera is attached?
It was located on my shoulder, and then we have a switch to turn it on that's down on our belt.
And did you activate your body camera that night?
I did.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Let me show you what has been marked State's Exhibit A for identification and ask if you have to peel that up. You recognize the contents of that?
Yes.
And how do you recognize it?
My initials and the date.
And what do you recognize this to be?
A copy of my body camera footage.
And does this contain the entire body camera footage from the time you turned it on to you turned it off?
Yes.
Your Honor, move to admit into evidence State's Exhibit A.
Any objections? Sure. Well, I see you're all stretching. I'm going to send you back into the jury room for a quick minute. I need to talk to the attorneys. I'll bring you back out in just a second. But stretch, have some coffee. We'll bring you back in a second.
It's about to go down. Judge about to lay
just
low.
leave everything. Leave your notepads on your chairs when you exit the room.
It's about to go down.
It's whatever's better for you.
Oh, that courtroom kind of different. They got him over here. Normally they be sitting over here, but probably because it's not big enough over here to seat all his people. It look like he got 4 attorneys. Damn. They need to stop zooming up on this man like that. He already scary as fuck. He already looked like a Halloween character and shit.
Mr. Ridgway, can you play body cam for me, please?
Oh shit, we finna look at the body cam. Let's go. So we probably won't get no distorted. I don't know. The body camera footage sometimes be distorted or whatever, but that overhead helicopter view that we got with the night vision, we weren't really able to see. I'm trying to. Oh, that's the other case. Never mind. Where he was arrested.
Is the sound on, or is this the part where there's no sound?
That's weird. Okay, what body camera footage? Because if the police had showed up on the scene and all that, what did she let him go, bro? Like, what happened? Oh, damn.
Where are the people that got shot? Is he breathing?
He's breathing. He is, but she is.
She's not breathing? Yeah, they're here. They're here, sir. They're coming.
They driving a red Regal, all red Regal. Okay. Yeah, you were just over here in this old school Regal.
Okay. Do you guys know who they were?
It was Regal. No. He's bald headed. He just cut his hair. He got gold. He's buff.
They're gone. They drove off.
The shooter is gone. Where's the ambulance?
Hey, hang on. We've got them on the way, okay? Does she have a pulse?
I don't feel a pulse.
Hold on, let me feel for it. Let me feel. No.
Baby, look at me. Look at me. Ronald. He got shot in the back of the leg. He got shot in the back. If y'all don't go get this motherfucker, I will. You live on 18th Street. My baby's not responding, baby. I understand that. They'll do their job. Good. Grab her by her hands. She looks. Ready?
Okay. You want to get that one?
Bring her out. Here. All right. Keep going. Where's she on? Where's she getting at? Keep doing no pulse. Right here, right? Keep doing CPR. She's pulse, right?
I don't have a mask or anything for breath. I feel a little bit, so I'm going to keep going.
Where's she shot at?
I don't know. We just pulled her out.
Anybody got scissors, something? Hunter, give me a light. Yeah. Just relax, buddy. Just relax. He was fine. I got it. He was fine. I'll probably just go, sir. Okay, no worries. Thank you. Yeah.
Go.
Frank, what do you got?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Go with those folks inside the house.
All right.
Keep with them.
Okay. Yeah, can you give an update? I can do that. Yeah, I got it.
Based on what the parties' opening statements were, it's clear to the court that there's a dispute as to where this encounter occurred, and the bodies are being moved. Both Ms. Dixon's and Mr. Stewart's body start on the porch and are being moved. Those things are relevant. So I think the probative value of the video up till that point outweighs any prejudicial impact. But once they actually remove them and put them on the grass, both Mr. Stewart and Ms. Dixon, the remainder of that is life-saving measures that are being taken with Ms. Dixon and life-saving measures taken with Mr. Stewart. They're cutting his shirt off. What is the relevance of that to any of the charges facing Mr. Loyd? Because it is pretty dramatic. Mr. Ridgway?
It's very simply, it shows
What do you mean? It's important because, bitch, we need to know what the fuck is going on.
Entire event as it occurred right then and there.
I hate when they try to control everything that's seen. Of course, there's life-saving measures. We need to see that. The jury should at least have been able to see that because they need to know to what magnitude these people were, affected and what measures were taken to attempt to save their life or whatever.
No different than, I would say that it is in the same category as autopsy photos and things that, again, occurred after the event that they show what happened.
I understand what you're saying. I'm going to sustain the defense's objection after they're picked up and moved to the grass. At that point, you need to turn off the body cam, because I do think at that point it becomes just the emotional impact of that would override any probative value of the life-saving measures. And there's also them going into the house. You can introduce, it's slightly different than an autopsy photo, which is just a still. You understand my ruling? You can play it all the way up to them lifting Ms. Dixon and Mr. Stewart and removing them from the porch and placing them on the grass. I do not. And right, we're going to look at that one. And the podium monitor is on. Mr. Ridgway? Yeah.
He got shot in the back of the leg. He got shot in the back. Bring her out. Here. All right. Keep doing what you're doing. Where's she at? Keep doing up, Paul.
She's here right now. Can you back
Keep
that
doing
up?
CPR. Ready? Okay. Hands. Feel it. Ready? Okay. Want to get down? Bring her out. Here. All right. Keep doing what you're doing. Where's she at? Keep doing up.
You stop it here. All right, let me see the next one, please. I know it's going to take you a minute or so to get this straightened out.
Judge, this one, in addition to showing what, as you can see, as the Deputy Avant's walking up, Ronald Stewart being moved out to the yard.
Okay.
Deputy Avant finds the gun.
Okay.
Stands on it, and Deputy Avant then goes out into the street and is present when he helps locate the shell casings that are laying in the street. So there's more than just that on his.
Okay, great. Is this body cam?
Deputy Avant.
doing CPR. No heart rate on the female up in front. They're doing CPR right now. She's not got a pulse. The other one's a little bit alert. You got her over there. Stop moving around, man. Stop moving around. She's got one in the back, one in the leg. She's got one in the chest.
Hey, yo, dogs. No, I'm just playing. Coco, you crazy.
Anybody got scissors? Someone got a shirt off? Hunter, give me a light. Yeah, I'll get his when he gets them out. Just relax, buddy. Just relax. He's out of it anyway. He was conscious. I got it. Okay, no rush, thank you. Okay, we got the one. The heck is that? Fragment? Something. Let's look at his back real quick.
They talking about fragments and shit, bro. This dude is evil as hell, y'all. I'll be right back, though.
We got, let's take it through and through. Through and through. We got one conscious. Somewhat. He's out again. I'm not getting out on my radio. Yeah, I got it. You got any others? He's got one in the leg. He's got one here. I got one in the thigh, one in the chest. Few minutes ago. No go. Hey, there's a gun here. You guys call that? That's a no code. I got blood on my. Yeah, no, that's hard. Travis, come here. Travis, come over here. I got a gun. You got one? Yeah. What's your? Fuck it, I don't want to touch it. Yeah, well, I got blood all over my hands. I don't want to touch it either. He's got a pull. I'm going to stand right here. So you got one in the chest. Okay, and you already got one. Never mind. Left leg. Ron, how you doing, Ron? Hey, you don't need a video. Yeah, I'm here. I'll get it ready. Slide here. By the knee. Right, all that knee. Oh, trauma already? Somebody to stand on this. Okay. I think they already called her. He's going to get trauma. He's going through and through in the chest. So. Oh yeah, she's they called her almost immediately. We got a gun over here. I know. You got a light on you?
No, I don't. Hang on, don't walk this way.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if I got any.
I just lost it.
Trying to find out if I have any blood on me. I don't think I do.
We'll check you out, but don't go.
I'm going to the hospital.
This way, so. Yeah, go that way. I don't even know where it went now.
There it is.
You found it? Where's it at?
Right there.
Okay, and then there's one right there. Yep, right there.
Okay. I'm going to the hospital. So.
No problem. What is status of those?
The female is, she's signal 7. He's going to be a trauma alert.
Okay. I need
some business cards?
Yeah.
Left cargo pocket. I got a.
Right here?
Yeah. There's a metal card holder in there. You can get some business cards out.
Yeah, I don't want anybody running
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going that way with them.
Yeah.
Can you get it open? Take your bloody gloves off.
Yeah, put them right in that dress.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. There it is, right? You want to just take a second card? Run over the...
Yeah, I don't want to see. Let me take a couple.
Yeah, just take the whole stack. I got a ton of them in my car. All right, I'm going...